I was so upset about the conversation we were having prior to starting. I didn't even hit go live. Countdown.
Nice.
Hello, everyone. The Next Issue Podcast here. Sorry, we were having a conversation backstage that Josh is just being a bully for no reason.
Yeah.
You know how that nerd bullying goes.
It's like
Right.
It's like he didn't even watch Star Trek. He's a Romulan.
Oh boy.
So as you could probably tell from the title of this and stuff, we're going to talk about Star Trek for the main topic. But before that, and now be advised, some of us are not as well versed in Star Trek as some of the other people on the panel. So
do we want to do a roundtable of Star Trek of like what you've seen?
Yeah, we can start with that when we get to the main topic.
All right.
But before that, let's talk about some of the stuff that we have been watching, reading, doing in the past week. Some really cool stuff going on. But let's see. Clay, you want to kick it off?
Oh, yeah. I finally got to see The Honorable Weight of Mad Talent with Nicolas Cage, and it is as great as everyone says. It is so
nice,
damn good, and I love that he even mentions the bees in the movie. It's just filled with so much random Nicolas Cage stuff. But then the cherry on top is Pedro Pascal. Like, he's so good in this movie. Like, he's this guy who is just enamored of Nick Cage, so he puts on awkward really well. Like, there's this whole scene where he just tries to go sit down in a beach chair next to Nicolas Cage with no really little dialogue, and it's just, he does it so well. It's just so funny. Like, I think that's really the reason to return to Wonder Woman 84 is Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I think my favorite scene in that movie probably when they're trying to climb over the wall.
Yes.
But I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a whole sequence where they're just watching movies. Like, the movie could be, even if you remove all the like action bits of it, like all that, the conflict from it, I think it would still be pretty enjoyable. Just watching them kind of hang out as a fan, like a fan of Nicolas Cage hanging out with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. So my question to y'all is, who would y'all want to hang out with like that on that level? Is there anyone that you can think of that you would want to? That's not Nicolas Cage that you would spend the weekend with, that you're a big fan of?
That's great.
Oh, Carl Urban. I think we just did the show of Love Boys.
Nah.
We're gonna talk about Star Trek. Carl Urban.
That's a great pick. I mean, you could go through Dredd. You could sit there and talk about The Boys. I mean,
I could buy him a statue of Dredd.
I'm not sad I missed the episode. I don't put him on a pedestal. I mean, I think he was a good Bones and he was decent as Dredd, but I don't think he's that great of an actor.
I think everything he does is fun. So
anytime I see
him, yeah.
But the thing is, just have a lot of the stuff he's in, I'm not a fan of.
I just like that you're watching The Boys.
I haven't watched it yet, and I just have no interest to watch it.
Oh, it's so good. I want to almost play the other. They made another music. So last week we started off with that Jensen Ackles Blondie video.
Mm-hmm.
They made another one for this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to look for it and upload it. Maybe I'll do it for the end of the show. You guys keep. I'll see if I can find it. But I think Carl Urban just seems like a good, fun dude to hang out with.
Yeah. I mean, my pick is always Bruce Willis, but Bruce Willis before his health deteriorated.
Yeah. Mine, I'm sorry.
No, go
ahead.
No, good.
I've got two, because one, if I want to fanboy out, it would be like David Tennant. But if I don't want to fanboy out, just hang with someone that I really, really admire and like, and who I think would be fun, would be Paul Rudd. So,
yeah, that's a good one.
For me, it's either Seth Green or Jason Lee.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, interesting. All right.
I guess I should also say Kevin Smith.
One's close enough where it could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like I could hang out with Kevin Smith all weekend, and
Mhm.
it would be as extreme as Pedro Pascal and Nick Cage.
We're getting a Clerks 3 trailer
trailer.
this week sometime.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, he posts art every day about it.
Yeah, so stay tuned. I'm sure I'll do a video for that, and we'll probably talk
Nice.
about it on the next one.
I have to admit, I'm a little worried. So far he hasn't screwed up Clerks, right?
Yeah.
Clerks 1, classic. Clerks 2, really good. I enjoyed the Jay and Bob reboot.
Yeah.
But it was really heartfelt, which is I think what I enjoyed about it. I feel like that humor is getting a little stale. So I don't know. We'll see.
You're right, Daniel. He's being a bully.
Right? I don't know why. I don't know if it's the fact that he's leaving us for a week or a couple of weeks. They're not going to tolerate this attitude in Europe.
What did I miss? I missed something. Was I
I'm
being
worried
muted?
about Kevin Smith and Clerks 3. Like, can't even be positive. You got to like
I see.
Well, I'm in that same boat, though. I'm in that same boat because I agree that with Kevin Smith made Clerks while he was clerking.
Right.
2, he made that while he was a father, and so it gave that angle. But he wasn't a guy working at a fast food place. Like that whole angle, like he can't relate to the common dude, the common Gen Xer now, like you could in the first film. So the third film might be the most removed he could be.
I disagree with that. This is a man who, as high as he gets, can still connect to the Gen X generation and pop culture more than anybody I've seen.
And you don't know what this third movie is about, right? Like they could be at that point in their life.
I do.
Well, I mean, overall,
he's already said Randall has a heart attack and basically realizes he hasn't done anything with his life and wants to make a movie based on what they do.
That's pretty relatable to Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty relatable.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
In the chat, Danny Boy, Elijah Wood. I think he would definitely have some cool stories.
Talk Lord of the Rings.
Here's one thing about you say about him not clerking. He kind of has, because officially now the old video store, it's a part of the actual convenience store, is their new Smog Castle. So basically, that's where they do. That's where they do their live podcast. So basically, you have the convenience store, you have the Quick Stop next door, and then you have Podcastle right next door. So he kind of partially owns part of that world now.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. I didn't know that.
I would want to talk to Elijah Wood about Sin City the most. I know everybody would probably want to talk about Lord of the Rings, and I understand that.
No, I would actually want to talk to him about the Dirk Gently series that just went off the rails. So
I would want to talk to him about I don't feel safe in this world anymore. Or I don't feel the Melanie Linsky movie he did with her. Have you guys seen it? It was on Netflix.
I thought you just wanted to talk to him about I don't feel safe in this world anymore. You know, there's a lot of shit going on.
No, that's the name of the movie.
That's awesome. That'd be great.
Please, I want to go back a bit earlier.
Elijah Wood.
I want to talk to him about Making the Good Son with Macaulay Culkin.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's a psycho metal. I mean, come on, a 12-year-old Macaulay Culkin trying to kill people. I'm like, I want to know what had kind of go through that process.
Yeah.
I would want to hang out with Macaulay Culkin for a weekend.
Yes.
That would be interesting to kind of just play video games and see what that dude's like.
That would be interesting.
What was the thing he was in recently?
That commercial? No.
Well, other than that, he was
Keanu
in
Reeves.
Yeah.
I would hang out with Keanu Reeves.
Oh yeah.
Talk Bill and Ted.
Keanu Reeves is who you hang out with when you need to recenter yourself. You know, when he's the one you go to and you're like, I just don't feel safe in the world anymore. And he gives you a hug, right? And then everything's better.
I would also want to hang out with a Batman actor, but I don't think I could keep up with any of them.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Maybe George Clooney has chilled out some by now.
I'm sure he loves answering Batman questions too.
Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
Or Tom Welling. Or
Michael Rosenbaum more for me. I'm not saying Tom Welling wouldn't be cool, but I'd rather hang out with Michael more.
Yeah, he's a big horror fan, so I could talk horror movies.
Yeah.
I'm excited for their
conversation
podcast to start, so I can start rewatching Smallville.
Should start. I think the week of the 15th. I think.
Yeah. I guess also Jensen Ackles. You know, just drive down to Austin, hang out at their brewery.
Yeah. Would he watch some Supernatural episodes with you?
Oh yeah,
maybe. who Back to the Future? Who are we talking about? That was in
No,
Back to the
Elijah
Future?
Wood. He's in Back to
Oh,
the
Elijah
Future.
Wood.
Yeah, because he played.
Oh,
the
that's
video
right.
game.
That was like his first role, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
when Michael J. Fox goes into the old cafe and he's playing Gumshoe, he's one of the two kids trying to play the game. Oh,
Yeah.
you got to
Oh,
use your
cool.
hands.
I
That's
didn't
a
know that.
baby's toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go down the
love
rabbit hole trying to explain kids what the arcade is and all that. So, I don't even know. Oh yeah, Nicolas Cage. Okay, cool.
I was doing the same thing. I was like, wait,
we
how
just
did we
went
get
down
here?
the wormhole of who we'd hang
Yeah, I was
out
like,
with,
how
and
did we
Nicolas
get
Cage.
here?
See, I
what
still
a
want to
friend.
hang out with Nicolas Cage and talk about Mandy and Fast Times at Ridgemont High and working with David Lynch. And I mean, there's like so many people he's worked with that I would just like.
I would just want to talk to him about like all the stuff they did for that Superman movie that never happened.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, he does
That's
not
also
look
a
great in
Kevin
that
Smith thing.
suit.
Don't be mean to Kevin Smith.
No. Kevin Smith didn't. Well, I guess did
He
write-
wrote it.
He wrote it, but he wasn't the one that cast Nicolas Cage.
Right.
Hey, listen. That's when you
There's
would
a
cast.
difference. I have no problem with the movie he wrote. I don't want to see Nicolas Cage as Superman. He's not Superman.
Yeah, he's not.
He's a different Superman.
He's a Ghost Rider. He's
Yes.
not a Superman.
Yeah. He's the question if anything.
Ooh. Damn,
Okay.
I want to see that.
Yeah, I like.
I mean,
I do
that's
see
that's
that.
pretty much Spidey Noir, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Look, he could
I can see
play.
it.
He could play this Superman from Flashpoint
Ooh,
coming out this week.
is that a Jay Lee cover?
that? It's Mitch Gerard's doing Jim Lee. He's
Oh,
recreating. He's recreating a cover from Jim Lee.
That doesn't look like Mitch Gerard's very well.
It doesn't. It really doesn't, which is interesting. But it is him, like you see here.
Wow. Okay.
All right, Clay. You want to talk about one more thing that maybe not the Star Trek stuff?
Yeah. Also watched for my other podcast, National Lampoon's Vacation.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I mean, another Harold Ramis film, and this begins the 80s era of John Hughes films because it's written by John Hughes.
That's the one where they go to Vegas.
No.
No, they
Oh,
go
the
across
Vegas
country.
vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, so they go cross country, and it's based on a National Lampoon article called Vacation 58, where the perspective is told from the kid, who is John Hughes, about like trying to go to Disneyland, where when he adapted the film for the movie, he kept it the kid's perspective, and Harold Ramis and Chevy Chase rewrote it to be in Clark's perspective.
Mm.
Like even Christy Brinkley was supposed to be like a 13-year-old girl that like acknowledged him in the car as they're traveling. Like there's all these like little subtle changes, but like I think about how iconic that movie is and how important, like just the idea of like Clark as a dad, like Chevy Chase as the dad figure, and then him doing all those movies. And now we have even Christmas Vacation that repeats every year. It's just weird how some of this pop culture just becomes so ingrained in our society.
Yeah.
Vegas Vacation is probably my favorite.
Oy, really?
Yeah,
really?
I don't know why.
It's because
Is it your
the newest
first
he's
one,
seen.
maybe?
Yeah, had to be.
Yeah,
Well,
it is the last one, right? Maybe that's why.
Yeah. The coolest thing was like the casting that almost happened. So like Ellen, the wife that's played oh my God, who plays the wife?
Oh God. I can
Beverly
see her.
D'Angelo.
Yeah.
That was almost Maureen McCormick
Really?
from the Brady Bunch. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
She was almost
So they were gonna have
cast.
like older parents, basically, right? Like,
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
I mean, Maureen McCormick, how far removed from the Brady Bunch is she? And
Which
then
one is
goes. She was the oldest
was-
one,
Oh,
Marsha.
okay. All right.
oh! I thought she
Oh.
played the mom. Sorry, I
Oh
got
no.
no.
Marsha
Yeah.
would be playing the wife,
the wife.
and
Interesting.
Cousin Eddie was almost played by Robin Williams.
Oh my God.
Wow. God, that would have been weird.
Yeah. So, but if you check out my other podcast, I go on a deep dive of who could play who and all the details about that movie. It's one of my favorites, and I love Harold Ramis, so I'll go in deep.
That's awesome.
Who wants to go next?
I can
Go,
go
Raj.
because
Yeah.
I don't have much. As I said to the gang before the show, I bought a lot of comics this week, but I have not read them yet. So I've got 8 Billion Genies #2. I've got Never Ender #2. I've got Excellent #4, which is weird because I'm doing my poll list for next week, and 5 comes out next week. So I don't know if maybe this got held up or something. But
it might get pushed back. I think those may be inaccurate dates because you said Never Ender 5 comes on next week.
No, Excellent. So
Excellent.
4 I picked up this week, and #5 is posted to come out next week.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah, maybe that one was delayed, and that's the original date for the new one.
That could be. Captain America: Symbol of Truth. Batman Fortress. I don't know how to use the camera, and then Batman Beyond the White Knight.
Oh.
So all I read this week, because I'm a giant nerd, is the new issue of Alter Ego came out. It was all about it says Shadow Comics, but it was Street and Smith, the pulp publisher of the Shadow and Doc Savage and others. It's a history of their comic endeavors. And there's, I mean, it's fine. It's a fun thing. I do want to point out we now have another Bebo we can praise.
What?
Yeah, Bebo the Jungle Boy.
Oh, that doesn't sound very PC.
No, it's not. But there was one hero in here that I read the description of, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. And then I kind of wanted, where is it? Hang on. I'll find it. But anyway, that's kind of all I read this week. But I did finally watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I want every single actor in that movie to win an award. There is not a bad performance. Everybody is brilliant. The movie is great. I loved it so much. It was wonderful. And can we all appreciate the fact that as soon as he started talking, it dawned on me that the actor from Indiana Jones, his voice never changed. He sounds identical to how he did when he was like 12. It's weird. So anyway, such a good movie. God, just wonderful.
It's on my to-watch list, like in the next 5 films.
You guys have
perfect.
You guys just talked about, so Clay mentioned Massive Talent, and then Josh here, Everything Over at Once. Yesterday, I put out my video for my favorite movie so far of 2022. Those two are on the top 10.
Nice.
So you guys are doing some good stuff.
As they should be.
Yeah. And then I'll be talking about another one that's also on the top 10. But before that, Kyle, you want to hit a few of your comics?
Yeah, I read Iron Man and Hellcat Annual, which was interesting because it's Patsy taking over this home, finds a possessed stuffed rabbit, ends up going to hell. Iron Man comes to save her, and you come to find out that the rabbit's inhabited by her ex-husband, Damien Hellstorm, who's basically trying to get back with her so they can take. Because this is still dealing with the whole Mephisto new mission that Mephisto's doing, but it's just this
Damien
weird.
Hellstorm is a rabbit?
It possesses the rabbit. He's not actually there. Yeah.
Who is writing this? This sounds crazy.
Clay, don't be ridiculous. He's not a rabbit. He's only possessing a rabbit.
Sounded like a Throg situation.
Yeah.
And then I read Avengers number 57, which is kind of interesting because it's still taking place along with the Mephisto story arc, but you're dealing with a World War II island with World War II soldiers taking on mystical. It's a weird twist, but the Avengers are kind of going World War II-esque, and like you got Captain Marvel there, and you've got Ghost Rider, and this one sergeant who's got mystical powers, and it's just this. I don't know where they're going with it.
I got a question for Avengers because I'm not reading that. Are they hinting at like Judgment Day coming soon, or like does it even matter? It's
not. They haven't really said. They're not really. They're all they're saying is like Mephisto is. is working towards taking like going for full power of the world or something. They don't exactly
Okay.
say Judgment Day or something. It's just
Because the X-Men line is definitely moving into Judgment Day, and
but I think they're doing their own thing. I mean, it's the X-Men. They're their own little part of the
well, but
Marvel
they're not,
universe.
right? Because that's going to be the crossover between the Eternals and
Oh.
X-Men and the Avengers. So like,
Maybe it could be. They haven't really said anything.
but
it could be.
Avengers is the only book I'm not reading out of those three. So like, I don't know if they're like moving in that direction or they're just like, yeah, whatever. The Avengers are here too.
I mean, it's half the reason they got Nighthawk to join the Avengers because he's trying to take out Mephisto. So they're still being very vague what Mephisto's doing.
Hmm.
And then I read, was it Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty #2, which was interesting because it's Captain America trying to find out who's developing super soldier serum, goes to this fortress, finds Deadpool. They end up going through like this whole. What's the movie that everyone says Dread is kind of based off of? What it's the Tower movie?
The
yeah.
Raid Redemption.
Yeah, but they're doing all these floors and trying to take out the enemy, and eventually they get out of there, and you realize that they're in Latvia until they get stopped by Doom, and then you also find out that basically Red Wing is trying to help another person, and Crossbones is leading this whole other thing where they're trying to develop the super soldier serum. So it's interesting, but yeah, it's. Oh no! I love one of the best lines is Captain America shows up and tells Deadpool, "I've got questions for you," and he goes, what he goes, "You got some questions? Shoot! I can fight and answer questions together." Or basically, kind of a spawn off of the I come for bubblegum and what was the fuck? Now I'm blanking on the line, but it's from They Live.
I'm here
Bubblegum
and kick-ass.
Yeah,
I'm
I can
all
answer
out
All out of
questions
bubblegum.
at the same time.
I'm all out of ass.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's good.
All right, we can come back to the other stuff.
Yeah.
If you want. All right, so now I'm gonna rant for a little bit.
Do it.
I watched a movie that I didn't realize I was gonna enjoy so much. So I've heard a lot of talk about this movie called RRR. It's Rise, Roar, Revolt. It's a movie from India that's playing on Netflix, and it is probably the grandest spectacle I've seen in a long, long time. Like, this rivals to me Infinity War and Endgame, but it did it all in one movie as far as just like there was no setup. It's just this really grand epic. And here, let me read you the description. And I almost don't want to, but I think this is vague enough. A fictional history of two legendary revolutionaries journey away from home before they began fighting for their country in the 1920s. That's it. That's all you get. But the movie's just about friendship and fighting and not giving up and stuff, and it's got like really cool action scenes and then just really cool dance numbers, and it is like almost every genre of movie all packed into 1 3-hour epic. It is incredible. This movie made all the money everywhere else in the world because I don't think they released it in theaters here. But it's on Netflix, and if you have 3 hours of your time at some point, like I watched it in 2 pieces because I started watching it Thursday night, and I was 2 hours in. I was like, oh, it's already like midnight. I need to go to sleep. But the movie's broken up into like these little like it almost feels like it has chapter breaks. So I found a pretty good stopping point, and then I watched the rest on Friday. But yeah, man, it's so good, and like I don't know any of these actors, like like any of that stuff. I don't know the director. I don't know anything about any of these people except that they put on a banger of a movie.
What made you watch it? What was the trigger?
So I've heard conversation about this movie because a lot of people are doing like their list of their top stuff for the first half of the year.
Oh, okay,
and then one of my buddies on Twitter, AJ, who I was on his stream on Wednesday doing like some sort of like movie fights type of thing where like they post a question and they we kind of argue about it for a little bit, and then he posted about it and he's like, yeah, I watched it 2 times and I'm gonna go watch it again. And I think any movie that people just can't stop rewatching, it piques my curiosity as far as like like what is it about this movie, especially when I saw the runtime. I was like, 3 hours, what is this, the Batman?
You're like, for 3 hours, this better fucking have Batman in it.
So yeah, this is also on my top 10 for the first half of the year. But yeah, it's great. It's so cool. Just a really cool movie, really cool special effects. And then just a really interesting look at a different culture that I don't get to see much in other movies. So very interesting because it happens in India around when the British were there in the 1920s, but it's a fictionalized version of all that stuff. So really, really cool. I think the only actor I recognized was Ray Stevenson.
Oh,
From Punisher War
Punisher
Journal,
Wars,
and
yeah.
Thor and stuff like that.
wasn't he also Darth Maul?
No.
No, I don't know who you're thinking of.
Okay, sorry, go on.
No, yeah, but yeah, he was in it, and he's one of the Brits. So yeah, really cool. If you have Netflix and 3 hours to spare, I recommend this movie so much. And then on the flip side of a good movie, I watched the movie that was not as good.
Oh boy.
I watched The Princess on Hulu. That's the Joey King movie.
Yeah, I've just seen ads for it nonstop.
It is. I mean, it's fine. It's a fine movie. I think it
It's
really
fine.
suffered. It really suffered from me watching a really good movie right before I watched that one.
Yeah.
But Dominic Cooper, like he's the villain, so I really like Dominic Cooper and
Oh, yeah.
Joey King. A lot of action. It's really just an action fest. So like if you just want to see medieval type of action, and it's pretty like violent too. So. So if you want to check that out, then I mean you could do less than 90 minutes, I guess. Worse.
I mean, it's medieval violence with sword and shit. It should be violent.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely don't hold off on the violence.
What
yeah,
made
those
you
were-
watch that?
Other just because it was out. It was out on
Okay.
Hulu, and I remember when the trailer came out, I was like, oh, this looks cool. I like Joey King. I like Dominic Cooper. I should check it out.
Because I would watch it if it would stop with the commercials every 5 minutes.
That's gonna be my very next thing. If Hulu was smart, they would set it up where if you just watch the movie, we won't show you the ad anymore, and then suddenly like views start skyrocketing. So
Yeah.
That's what I have the ad free Hulu, so I don't know how it works, but for Peacock I have the version with ads. But for movies, you watch like 3 minutes of ads up front, and then there's no ads throughout the movie.
Yeah.
oh, that's not bad.
Does Hulu not do that?
Mm-mm.
Hulu stops the movie in the middle and gives you ads?
No,
I'm trying to think if they
no.
do.
No, they don't. But if you watch anything else on Hulu that has ads, they will show you the same ads over and over again. So you'll get in a loop where they'll show you the same trailer every time you start an episode of something. So
yeah, that's why I got the version without ads, because I was going insane for this TXU commercial about how if you're using your oven and you open the door, the temperature drops.
right.
Fuck you! I don't have TXU. I don't care about this. And I was going insane because I was watching an anime, so that's like every 5 minutes playing the same ad was gonna drive me nuts.
Exactly.
I don't know how people binge if you have the ad version of Hulu.
Yeah, you just got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, but there's also a weird thing. Have you guys experienced on Hulu, especially with like 30-minute shows, where you'll get up to the last 5 minutes and it will just stop and go to the next episode? This happens to us all the time, and to the point where like we're eating dinner and we're like, God damn it, and we have to like go back, and then when you restart the episode, it's not where it left off. It puts you back like 10 minutes. You have to fast forward. It does it all. I'm like, Hulu, fix your shit. Come on.
Yeah,
And
their
then you
player
sometimes
is
have to
pretty
watch an ad,
awful.
right?
What? Sorry.
Oh, and then you sometimes have to watch an ad before you start playing it again.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, it's terrible. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, and like we've been watching a lot of Bob's Burgers, and so it'll play those ads, and you just get stuck in a rotation of the same ads over and over.
Yeah.
Again.
Hey, the movie's coming out Disney Plus soon. I think I saw. So.
Bob's Burgers coming to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Well, the movie.
No, but still.
Yeah, because they
Well,
own
it's a
Fox,
Fox.
right? So
Yeah.
And speaking of Disney Plus, the last thing I'll touch on before we pass it off again, I watch Muppets Treasure Island for the first time.
Really? Only the first time?
I've never seen that one actually. Is it good?
It's only my
It's like
second
the
Muppet
best.
movie I've
It's like
seen.
the best one out there.
It's
Wait,
really good.
it's only the second one. What was the first one?
I've only seen the Christmas Carol one, and then now
Okay,
this.
that's a good one.
So wait, you've
All
not
right.
seen Muppet movie, Great Muppet Caper, or Muppets Take Manhattan?
I'm not a Muppet person really.
Or
matter.
Muppets
No.
in Space, which is
No.
pretty solid. I like Space.
Muppets Babies. I'm all about Muppets Babies, but other than that,
Where the hell
no,
are you
no, no, no,
watching
no, no,
Muppet
You gotta
movies?
watch
You
the
can't watch it
first
anywhere.
movie. You
Yeah.
gotta watch the.
You
first
gotta watch
movie.
the first movie. The first movie's great. You've got to watch. Is it Take Manhattan where they
Yes.
introduce the babies like
Yes,
that? That's
yeah.
So
Yeah, like
you have to watch that too.
they're in the carriage, and Piggy's having a dream of them all knowing each other since babies, and so it's
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
all right.
god.
Well, I did watch Treasure Island, and it's great. It's so much fun. I mean, Tim Curry's in it, so of course it's gonna
Hey
be fun.
ho, we'll go anywhere the wind is blowing, mighty men are we. Sailing for adventure on the big blue wet thing. I think Bonky doesn't know what the ocean is. He just his little friend in his finger is like, it's the big blue wet thing. Ah, the big blue wet thing.
I will say I will go to bat for the Muppets show that was like The Office.
Oh,
That
fuck
show
I've
was
heard it's good.
hilarious, and I'm
Okay,
still
I'm gonna watch
angry it
that,
didn't get a
actually.
second season. Yeah, it's good.
Instead
I-
of having The Office just running or just replaying on my
Just watch
TV,
that,
I'll just
yeah.
go on the Muppet Show.
Exactly.
So the two things that killed me from that Muppets movie was first the roll call. When they're doing roll call and they name all the pirates,
yes,
and you get
yeah.
to Dead Tom Dead Tom, and they're like, he's dead, and then that's a recurring thing that happens throughout the movie about talking about Dead Tom.
That's good.
And then the other thing is, it just slipped my mind. What was it? Well, if I think of it, I'll come back to it. But
I love
it just
at the
left my
beginning.
brain.
Jimmy Jim. I'm not Jimmy Jim. He's Jimmy Jim.
Oh, the other thing is the rat having a cruise in the background of the movie the whole time.
Oh. That's awesome.
I kind of want to watch that movie too, like the reverse of like just following the rats throughout the
Exactly. Them and their little, yeah.
Really, really good.
Where did you watch that, Daniel?
Disney.
I watched that yesterday.
Disney Plus?
Oh yeah, it's on Disney Plus. Yeah.
It's on all right.
Almost only thing Disney does not have. Oh, sorry. There's two things Disney does not have that's on Disney Plus. One, Fraggle Rock, and two is Muppet Babies, because there's a rights thing because of all the movies.
You will never, you'll never, as much as I want to be able to watch Muppet Babies, you'll never be able to.
That original series is amazing.
Yeah. So that's all the movies, and I'll talk about comics on the next go round because I read a lot. Like on top of the stuff for the channel, I read a lot of stuff for my own personal enjoyment. But Clay, I'll throw it back to you.
Okay, I forgot I left out Friday night's drive-in movie. We Shudder did. Joe Bob Briggs did Uncle Sam.
Well, they were in town this week, weren't they?
Yeah, and they were at the Texas Theater. I don't know what film they showed. I just saw a lot of people posting pictures from the Texas Theater.
Yeah.
But man, Uncle Sam's a great exploitation slasher film. A returned Vietnam vet is brought back to life, but he's like still dead looking, and he still is wearing his military uniform. It's just, he looks like the Marvel zombie character. And he just goes around like killing randomly. Like it starts, you can see a pattern, and then it just gets random. It was fun, but he did a deep dive on that one, and I think that's out from Arrow now. And then I got caught up on Donny Cates's Thor and Hulk run. I know you made a video, Danny, about the getting into the war. God, what is it?
War of the Worlds?
No, the Banner
War of the
War.
Worlds? Oh, World War Hulk. Yeah.
Banner
War.
War. Yeah, as Thor and Hulk collide. And so just Donny Cates bringing you up to the point of that war. He goes through, what was his alter ego back in the day?
Mr. Fix-It?
Donald Blake.
No, Thor's alter ego when he would
Oh,
Oh, Donald
Donald
Blake.
Blake.
Yeah.
Donald Blake, yeah.
Yeah.
And so since Donald Blake has not been a part of his life, they explain what has happened to Donald Blake. And it's done Donny Cates style. It's like
yeah,
so
he's
good.
like I forget. I read a little bit. I forget what he was exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically been stuck in this world by himself because he's a creation of Odin. Odin magic created a world for him to inhabit so that when he was not Thor or not in the real world, he would inhabit this world. And since he's just been Thor this whole time, Donald Blake has gone mad and killed everyone in that world and is
Whoa.
it is insane and fun and bizarre and a horror story, but it's like what would happen if you were like trapped in a world you never made and and you realized you were a prisoner.
Yeah.
Wow. God.
It was like this. It was almost like this pre-programmed world that was supposed to kind of reset, a lot of the time, but then something went wrong, and then that started kind of destroying the world, which really fucked. Because then he was just trapped there, right? It wasn't a world that he thought he was inhabiting. It's really good. I really like the story. And then they obviously Donald Blake and Thor switch places, and there's no way to put them back because the magic that Odin had is broken or something.
Yeah, magic has been breaking during this time.
Yeah. I really enjoy that. I'm glad you're reading that. I'm glad you're getting caught up. I think we talked about this last year before Kate started, or maybe before Kate started on Thor, right? Because Clay had some insider info a long time ago.
I'd met him before he took up the reins of Thor, and he was kind of intimidated following Jason Aaron. But I can't tell you a better time in comics to follow Thor, and it is from the Jason Aaron run through the Donny Cates run. Donny Cates, like, he looked at Aaron's run as, and just said, let's just make this fun. And he throws in every fun thing you want. You get a Throg story. You get Donald Blake as like a psychotic. You get the goats. You get
the goats.
I mean, there's just so much fun shit in there. And it's like you go from the Jason Aaron one, which is steeped in mythology and history, to this one where it's like you see Throg fighting and how he fights, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's good reads. It's definitely different than what we're gonna probably see next week at the movie.
Oh yeah,
but it's still fun. You get a lot of really cool like things that Donny Cates is weaving back from his previous runs. In the first issue, we see this like nightmare scenario of Thanos wielding the gauntlet and the Necro sword, and we don't know what the fuck is happening. And it's Thor with the gauntlet holding Mjolnir with all the stones in it, and then the Necro sword, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? So,
will we see the Necro sword in this Thor movie?
I think so. I think the next stuff with Thor after Banner of War is actually some stuff with Venom.
Okay.
I think either Hulk or Thor are gonna talk to Eddie so soon. Just from looking at the previews.
Yeah, but no, I was curious in the film, like in the Thor film, if it will see the Necro sword, because that kind of seems to be the next big weapon.
Yeah, we know the trailer has a sword. Is it the Necro sword or not? I don't know. I mean, the Necro sword wasn't really the Necro sword when we first met it back in the run, right? I think all that stuff was kind of a fun retcon that eventually led to Null. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see at least seeds planted for the Necro sword, because then that means at some point we get Null in the MCU, which could be another fun big bad in between.
To me, that would be a big event movie.
Yeah, for sure. I guess the only problem there is that how you deal with Venom, but we do have some Venom symbiote in the MCU.
We have like a spilled ounce of maybe a shot glass worth of Venom in the MCU.
Right. God,
we just got to make its way back from Mexico.
Well, that's not going to happen. I mean, come on, he's in Mexico. He's
travel is so tough right now.
I was just thinking, enjoying the beach life. becoming a swimsuit.
Who is the first infected? That would be the interesting thing. Is like if he does infect someone, who's the first, and why does he end up on whoever he ends up on? Does he become Agent Venom? I mean, which direction are they going to go?
Does he track down the MCU universe version of Tom? What's his face?
Eddie.
Well, the actor. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Topher Grace. I hear he's not doing anything.
Is he gonna have to dye his hair blonde again?
No, Topher Grace is returning. They're bringing back that 70s show. Did y'all not see this story?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. Well, and he was in that short-lived show. I mean, it may still be going on. I don't know where it's like.
I thought it was like that 90s show.
Yeah, that 90s show.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I think the show you're talking about is Home Economics.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I like that show. It's actually pretty funny.
I never saw it, but
I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's got 2 seasons on there, so somebody was watching it other than me.
so someone was. Yeah.
Cool. All right, what else? We're taking some good tangents this week. Taking some nice places.
Yeah, but that's it for me.
All right, cool. Josh, you got anything else? I know you talked about a few things. No, all done?
No, that was it. I just had those 2.
We're going to have you step it up. I'm going to have to assign you homework.
Oh, no.
Watch all 4 seasons of Star Trek Enterprise.
Or you know what? Josh did just buy all of Love and Rockets from that Humble Bundle.
I did.
So
yeah,
I did.
That's a lot of reading.
I guess that's my pick this week.
cool.
I had another one.
Kyle, what else you got?
Just gonna finish putting out there. I've been rewatching Hawaii Five-0 on Paramount. Forgot how much, because since it went off the air, how much I enjoy that show. So it's another guilty pleasure
The
of mine.
new one or the old one?
The new one.
Okay.
Yeah. The new one. You know, is this with that had why am I blanking all the actors' names? I'm just rewatching the show.
Grace Park.
Jay Hernandez.
Grace Park. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it's good, because I feel like that show just does not have enough mustache. It really bothers me.
Wait. We're not talking about Magnum. We're talking about Hawaii. There's a difference there.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
I
One
do
show's
get them
one,
mixed
one
up.
show's the other.
They did have a crossover, right?
Yes, they did. They did crossover. Yeah, because in the first season of Magnum, they had a couple of the Hawaii Five-0 characters would make appearances, like Kona, who's the guy who's a shrimp truck driver, and then also one of the examiners. But after Max Okasa left, they brought in a female, and she made a couple appearances in season 1 and 2 of Magnum. And then they had one where basically it was a crossover where Magnum and his guys kind of helped the 5-0 team. So yeah, but I forgot how much the earlier seasons, but before Grace Park and Daniel Day Kim left, it was so much of a better show.
How many seasons are there?
9 or 10.
Damn.
Oh, and the greatest thing, Magnum got picked up from cancellation, so it's going from CBS to NBC. So they picked up for seasons 5 and 6.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
NBC picked up?
Yes.
They probably just want content for Peacock.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. Is
I'm
like,
fine with it. I love the show. So and as much as Homeboy over here wants to diss on the mustache stuff, I love the show. So I'm happy that it's getting 5 and 6.
No, I've heard the show's really good. Don't get me wrong.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's not Tom Selleck and it's not the original, but it's its own thing. So you got to update it. You can't be,
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, that's actually like the best scenario, right?
Plus, so you get Tom and the mustache on Blue Bloods.
I'm just glad to not be Homeboy for once.
Oh, well, you're Homeboy too. You still like like Zack Snyder, so.
Oh, I'll tell you what, that'll never stop.
Shit! Now I'm going to try to come up with a project that would make it stop.
I got one more question, and I just found some news out. Who all here has seen, and I know I'm going to be disappointed, who has seen all of Cobra Kai?
I'm behind.
I want to. I haven't.
I've seen like the first 3 seasons.
God, you guys are.
I admit it, when I watch it, I go, "This is really good." But then there's also that weird element of that show where they just randomly will start having karate fights in the mall, and people will get seriously hurt, and that's like a plot of the show. But then, like,
that was season 2. I mean, that wasn't the mall; it was school, and that broke it. That helped go into season 3. They just announced.
Yeah, a kid falls off the stairs and is like paralyzed,
and he comes back, and that's how he basically reconnects with Johnny. So you got to have that. Anyway, they announced that season 9 is going to release on not season 9. Jesus, season 5.
I was going to say, shit, I missed a lot.
Season 5 is going to release on Netflix on September 9th.
Cool, man. That was fast because they just released it at the beginning of the year, right? The other one.
Yeah, but they've been able to shoot a lot more stuff. And you also got to realize, as a friend brought out, like, when they released seasons 1 and 2, they'd already kind of shot season 3, but they held it off on kind of because of a lockdown.
And it's really the only success story coming out of that YouTube television experiment.
Yeah. But you also got to realize when he got released on Netflix, because they released it with seasons 1 and 2, it was the number one show on Netflix for like a good couple months. Holy shit.
And it's weird because Netflix, their whole idea is they just want people to binge shows. Like that's
I'm okay with that one.
But that's weird though. So because sometimes I feel like when you binge shows, you don't retain everything from it, so you have to rewatch it again and again. But as opposed to like a weekly show where you can kind of sit with what you've consumed and think about it. So that their model, their business model, is very strange because a lot of shows that have been super successful have not necessarily been shows you can binge, and they'll cancel them.
Yeah.
So like having that business model is not the best idea in the world when not all your shows are very bingeable, or they're just heavy and tough to sit through. You know what I'm saying? And you still like
Cobra
that.
Kai is not bad. Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, Cobra Kai is very light, but with a message. I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, good.
Well, I was gonna say, I 100% agree with you, Clay. The one outlier on Netflix, in my opinion, is the first season of The Witcher, because since that season was told in such a unique way where parallel storylines are happening, binging it almost helped you put the pieces together, right?
Okay.
Versus like watching it one and then waiting a week and watching the next, it would have been just totally confusing. So.
Well, the way they've handled dropping Stranger Things has showed me that they're adjusting by doing it piecemeal because their metrics are way off for some of their shows that they've been canceling that have been highly watched.
But I also read that the Duffer Brothers were uploading VFX for this latest, like their last episode, like 20 hours before the last stuff went live. So.
Wow!
I don't know. Last minute. I don't know what I don't know if that means that you'll get to see it, and then maybe you'll see an updated, better version of that, or I haven't watched season 4. I'm behind, so because
that would be weird to get a Duffer cut.
Yeah, it feels like a big commitment to watch Stranger Things season 4 now.
Yeah, but I still want to. Like, I don't have Netflix anymore, but that's one of the reasons I'd return to Netflix is to watch that. So we might get a month free and
then watch RRR.
Yeah, after you gave it that glowing review, I definitely am in.
Cool.
I got one thing. Just keep the video on for 1 second. I just got to grab. I want to show something I picked up on Friday.
We're gonna end the stream while you walk away.
No, just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hang on.
All right. Kyle went questing.
Sorry, folks. Kyle left, so we had to.
Kyle left. Yeah. Well, we're out.
We set up the podcast in a way that you have to be sitting in that seat, and the pressure from there activates the stream.
I normally don't do pops. I have a few that I bought. I normally don't buy them, but I went to that movie trading company on Friday, and the Japanese Spider-Man pop.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
And only because they had a sale going on, they had like a lot of
Oh, you got it too.
Love it.
I had to get it. I'm not. I forget. I love Spider-Man, but when it's the Japanese Spider-Man, I had to pick up stuff.
Like I'm not gonna get the Japanese TV series Spider-Man.
And then because they were doing a sale, the red line were cheaper. Prince Adam.
Oh, nice.
But that's I really only pick up ones that I really want. I don't want to be one of these pop collectors. I know a guy who basically I think has every pop, and I'm just like, how do you afford that shit?
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
No, you don't. This is one guy.
Oh no, okay. Yeah, because there's so many. Like it surprises me. Shelby will tell me like she'll send me pictures of like comic books that she gets in that are like first appearances and really cool things. But then she'll show me like a broken anime pop that went for $200 at her store, and you're just like, what the hell?
I only get the ones I like.
Yeah, Zemo.
So.
I was going to say I'd buy quite a few, but they're out. Like just in my living room alone are the what is the Neil Gaiman Omens show?
Good Omens.
Good Omens.
Good Omens. We've got them over there. I've got a Howard the Duck up on over
Nice.
there. They're randomly about. Oh, and of course my Bruce Willis. I have a Die Hard with the bloody feet on his pocket
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's cool. In the shrine.
in the shrine. Yeah.
Very cool. All right.
All
Let
right.
me catch up before we move on to Star Trek. Let me talk about comics because, like I said, I read a lot. So first off, of course, I had to finally. Now that we finally have the full story, I read Batman Catwoman, the Tom King series with Clayman. There's actually a bunch of issues with Liam Sharp art. So like this story technically started in 2016 with Rebirth and Tom King when he took over the Batman book. But then this kind of deviates, right? This is technically Black Label, so it's not canon. But this is what could have happened, I guess, if Tom King had finished the run. It's amazing. I fucking love this series. I can't wait to get the collected editions because they're going to be great. And I'm just really excited because, like I said, I've been reading. I mean, I started reading Tom King's run when it came out, right? And it was so good. I was really enjoying it, and I was really bummed when, as much as I loved Tinian's run after that, like I was really bummed when Tom King didn't get to kind of finish his story. But I'm glad we got this story, and it's overall seems like a happy ending for everyone involved. Not without its trepidations because it is a Batman book. So,
Was there any problem with the art going between Liam Sharp and Clayman?
It's definitely jarring, but I really like Liam Sharp art, so I didn't have an issue with it.
He's
but,
very
I mean,
detailed, and Clayman's very fine line art.
There is a little bit of inconsistency. Like they both draw this family, and the family looks completely different. I think everyone else because of their aesthetic and the costume and everything. But this is the book that brought back the Phantasm.
Phantasm.
Yeah, really cool, really cool. So if you want to read a story with the Phantasm, I mean, this is it. And then you get to see it tells you 3 stories consecutively, or I guess consecutively. So 3 different time periods, like when they're really young, then kind of like during Tom King's run, and then in the future. So you get to see Helena, like who's Bruce and Selena's daughter, and then we also get there was supposed to be an annual by, what's his name, Leon. Jeez.
John Reno.
He recently passed away. Hold on one second. Let me look for it.
Oh shit!
Because I do want to. Here it is. I do want to talk about that because it was really really good. But then a lot of other. Oh, John Paul Leon. He was working on an annual for this book.
Okay.
And then he unfortunately passed away. So other writers jumped in to finish it. And it's really good. And the whole book, the whole series really has a Christmas motif for some reason, which is really interesting to be reading in the middle of summer when it's like 100 degrees outside. But it's a really, really good book, a really good series. So if you like Tom King, I think you'll enjoy this. I also read Captain America, Iron Man. This is just a little mini series. The Armor and the Shield. It's just a fun series with them hanging out, not hanging out, but doing stuff. This is a fun quote for the trade comic. Like, this comic won't disappoint you as opposed to the other ones that will.
That is a weird.
Yeah, it's a weird compliment.
Yeah.
But it's a fun series. It's just a story between them, and then like this group of. They bring back some of the characters from the Avengers Initiative, the 51 State Initiative. You guys remember from Civil War?
Oh yeah,
long time ago. So really,
and they put out 50 covers for every state.
Yeah, I actually have the Texas one for the Avengers because, of course. Yeah, and then like I was talking earlier, of course, Judgment Day is coming, so I finally caught up on Karen Gillan and Esad Ribick's Eternals.
Oh wow, that's a pretty book.
This is the first Eternals book I read like all the way through, like a series.
Wow.
Because I've never read the Kirby stuff. I've never read the Neil Gaiman stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, what stopped me from reading this book was a little confusing because the Eternals are a tough concept to understand in one issue.
Yeah.
But after watching the movie, I knew how they work because that loosely adapts Gaiman's run, right? The movie. So at least, but you understand the mechanics of the machine and how they work and all that stuff, and their cycle of rebirth and all that.
Yeah.
But Kieran Gillen expands on that and throws a really interesting wrench. Also, for the second, I mean, throughout the whole book, Thanos is back because Thanos had died, if you remember from the Guardians of the Galaxy run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Thanos is back somehow, and he is an eternal, technically. So it gets into all that really cool stuff. 12 issues plus 3 one-shots. They're all very interesting. So you get a Sad Rubik art for most of it, but then the 3 one-shots are done by other people.
Oh.
I love his Sad Rubik's art, but I did notice that I have a problem telling apart his faces sometimes.
Oh, really?
Oh,
It almost, all his faces kind of look almost the same. So like if it was just
Yeah.
close up, I wouldn't be able to tell who's talking. But I mean, his art is beautiful, painterly, and if if anybody's rereading Thor, you probably see that. So, yeah, so that's all the stuff I read, plus some stuff that I'll talk about when we get into the main topic. And I just kind of want to show you guys the comics I picked up for the week before we get on to the main topic. Whoop, not that. That's the document.
The document.
Really fun stuff this week. The variants, Gail
Yes.
Simone, Bill Noto, Jessica Jones book, really, really fun. I don't think I had read a Gail Simone book in a long time, which is
Oh.
really. Iron Cat, this is by Jed McKay. So if you were reading that Black Cat run, you want to read this because it continues that story. And then here's the wraparound cover for Batman Catwoman.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Clayman does amazing things with these two characters. And then some other stuff. The sins of the Black Flamingo.
I saw that on the shelf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
You
like
talked about it.
It's a crime noir book that turns into like a supernatural book by the end of the book. So it's really interesting, and it looks really, really pretty inside too. So, 8 Billion Genies, number 2.
Yeah.
I love that.
You got
book.
you got the same cover I did.
Yeah, because the other one was out. I wanted the main one, but they were out by the time I got there. And
Oh, really?
What's the premise on that book again?
once 8 billion people, the population hits 8 billion on Earth, everyone gets a genie and everyone gets one wish. And then the rest of the series is just devolves into like what happens in a world where everyone has one wish. Here, let me.
So this is the splash page of issue 2. The first 8 hours, human population 7,202,000. Or 7 billion. Sorry, genie population. Six. And so the genie population is the number of genies who haven't had a wish made yet. Because once you make a wish, they go away. So
it's really fun, and it's already been auctioned for a TV show by I think it's the Prime Video.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, and they're barely on issue 2. So really fun stuff.
Of 8, 2 of 8. So.
Yeah, it's only going to be 8. So, like the first issue focuses on the first 8 seconds and then 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then this one focuses on the first 8 hours. And I think they'll just kind of go from there. Also picked up Public Domain by Chip Zdarsky.
I almost picked that up. I really waffled on it.
I've been reading this book through the Substack because I'm subscribed to Zdarsky's Substack. So I just wanted to pick it up to have a physical copy of it. But I'm already like on issue 4 or 5, I think. Like they're a little farther ahead. The last 2 things.
Thumb up, thumbs down.
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah,
Okay.
Public Domain. Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Buffy 97. This is a one shot from Boom, where they do a throwback style to like a 90s show of Buffy, which I know was a 90s show, but it's more like a sitcom as opposed to the show that we saw on the TV. It's really fun. But it still has the little supernatural stuff from Buffy. And then the last one, Mindset from Vault Comics. This is a book about this guy makes an app that controls you, that has mind control abilities, and they hit like 1 million users or something, and they kind of like things start happening from there. So like, it talks. It almost feels like a Black Mirror episode. But I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay, but if he sells like this app for like 99 cents, he's a millionaire at this point. So what is he controlling people for? Just power?
The group that made the app, they want to better the world, and then they think that they can do that by nudging people in the right direction. But then also somebody dies at some point, so like things start happening. You also get to see this from a few different times. Like there's flashbacks to when they were developing the app and stuff. And then the big event is that 1 million user party, and then something happens there. So, but the art is amazing. I mean, it's sealed, so I didn't want to open it. But go check out my review video. I put some art in there.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, that's it. It's been a good week. I hadn't read a bunch of comics for myself, like things that I wanted to read, as opposed to just things that. Not that I don't want to read the stuff I make reviews for, because they usually end up pretty good. But this is something I didn't make a video for or anything. It was just for me.
All right.
Are
we ready for some Trek talk?
On to the main topic. Yep.
Trek talk.
So as the week came out, I guess, Clay, why did you want to talk about Star Trek?
The sign for being a pimp daddy.
Well, I mean, I've been a Trekker for a long time. I watched, the original series when it was all we had, and then I was super hyped when Next Generation came out. Then we just kept getting more series, and I don't think I ever finished Voyager. Yeah, and so it's been like a hole in my Star Trek knowledge, so I've kind of wanted to go back and see it. But I've seen like all the movies, and then when the new stuff came back out on Paramount, Discovery, I wanted to like that. And so I watched Discovery, and the first 2 episodes are like a standalone movie, and then it rolls into the series with the 3rd episode, which is way different than the first 2. It just put me off. Like, I'm interested in the cast and things about it, but like sitting through it, I just kind of got like, it wasn't for me. It wasn't really Trek. So like that kind of got me to the point of what is Star Trek. But then watching Strange New Worlds, that's what Trek is.
Yeah.
Like, as to me, Star Trek, if it's progressive and science fiction, that's all it needs to be, because it could tell the story from many different angles and do it many different ways. Like what Picard is doing is way different than what they're doing with Strange New Worlds. And I can't say I'm a fan of the first season of Picard. It like took a lot to get to the 3rd episode, which they could have done as like a scroll. We didn't have to see all that. They could have just explained it. But especially after Kyle gave Strange New Worlds such a huge praise, I'm watching it and I'm loving it. Like everyone in it kind of has a tie to Star Trek. You have a young Uhuru. You have
Who's a cadet.
Who's a cadet. You have number 1. This is essentially Captain Pike piloting the Enterprise before the Starship Enterprise is in the first series. So you're seeing the pilot and the episodes after that, but with the knowledge that the Captain Pike knows what's going to happen to him.
This is basically the Enterprise, like when she's the flagship for the Federation, and it's only been out and docked or been used for about maybe 8 months, because they talk about how it was a new ship that was used during the Klingon War, which is what took place during the first season of Discovery. And then Pike comes in and takes command of the Discovery for season 2. And then this is where he kind of learns what his fate's going to be. And then it basically takes a couple months off. And then basically in the first episode of Stranger Worlds comes back and basically decides to take basic control of the Enterprise again, even though he realizes that in 10 years he's going to come to basically his death, or the accidents are going to cause him to be in that whole freaking vegetative state you see in the original series.
Yeah, and it's probably the most serious thing that they do through this whole run is the captain is aware that his death saves the lives of like these kids, and like he knows the kid's name in his head, and like he continually will go through, like those kids are like 5 or 6 right now. And so like he goes and looks them up online and kind of has this obsession with like, I know I'm going to die, but like these kids I'm going to save.
And
so he kind of goes through the shit. Do what?
He doesn't keep to himself. Both Spock and number 1 know about it. Like he confides in them.
Yeah, because it's very concerning knowing your death and how you behave at that point. Yeah. But he takes such a casual casualness about knowing his death that he is kind of an 80s action hero in this show. Do you get that vibe?
I don't know if it depends on who you're going to compare him to. I wouldn't compare him to Willis or Schwarzenegger. He's a very much
no.
He's about action, but he's also very much about talking first. Like he doesn't jump in like blindfold. He actually tries to mediate things and uses action as a second resort.
Yeah, he does have a lot of diplomacy to his character, but there are these moments that he has where he's kind of like an 80s action hero where he has like he'll say something after it happens, or like his instead of engage, he says hit it.
Yeah.
And he has like these little mannerisms about him that I really like that are like an 80s action hero we never had. And he kind of is just doing it on his own. Like he's just this cool, like this is really way better than Black Bolt. Like you wasted him in Black Bolt without using his voice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I like it when they have Lieutenant Ortegas, who's the helmsman of Enterprise, and he goes, "Get us close." Like, how close do you want to get? First or second base? Third base. And he'll just make these jokes, and it's like, and I love the fact, like, that's the whole thing is I don't know what the crew count is for the Enterprise. Like, back in the original series, it was like supposed to be like 400 something people crammed into, and they even make light of this in the episode on DS9 with the Trouble for Tribbles episode where they go back in time, and they make a comment how they really crammed into these old small ships. But with this one, and if you go back and look at Kirk's old quarters, it's a small closet kind of looking quarter. Pike's got a fucking penthouse place. He's got he sits on a sofa with his scotch. He's got a fire pit. He'll cook. He actually literally has a kitchen. You actually see scenes of him actually doing the dishes, like actually physically cleaning dishes. There's no
It's an interesting choice that they have him drink a lot. Like he is always drinking when he is not on duty. And that's a real weird concept to lean on that.
And he cooks for everybody. Like they actually have like dinner parties in his crew. Like, and that's the thing. He actually has some of his officers call him Chris. There's been a few episodes where number one and the Doctor and Spock have all called him Chris. And even who is it? It's Lieutenant Singh, who is Khan's descendant. Like this last episode where she's basically deals. The one thing about the season 2 is they are really pushing the Gorn as an enemy this season.
Yeah.
And holy crap! In this one, where basically she decides to take this little girl, but Singh's character was like she was on a ship, and the Gorn captured her, and you find out that Gorn are these really manipulative, kind of like dangerous kind of creatures. More than you get that green lizard costume that fights Kirk in the one episode in the original season.
Yeah.
And then basically she takes this another girl, and I've got to take time. She goes, Captain Chris, thank you for everything you've done for me. So he's whereas other captains are going to be like, no, you're not going to call me my first name. You're not even calling me Picard. You're going to call me Captain. He's very loose and with his relationships with his crew. Like, if they have a certain moment, he'll do the first name kind of thing with them. Yeah,
but Lieutenant Singh has the best origin story of the Gorn. Like she explains that like she was with a bunch of other people who were taken as prisoners of the Gorn. And she was sent out in space, basically like a raft. She's never meant to live, but it's like a sacrifice the Gorn do before they basically kill everyone else. So she was the lone survivor sent out in space on this raft, and then discovered by number one, who's played by Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah,
and who I got to say they really put her like number one. She has the dark hair. She wears everything like Majel Barrett did back in the pilot. It looks awesome and fantastic. Like she does a great, like whoever's doing the production work, fucking fantastic job.
And you find out that she's not even fully human. She's I can't remember the race's name.
I mean, isn't she? Oh yeah, that's right. Because
the Federation doesn't allow any race that does genetic manipulation because of like the
eugenics war.
Eugenics wars. So basically, you find out later that she is part of this race that they find have all died, and there's a virus that affects the Enterprise, but she's able to burn out of her system because she's actually one of those race members, and she basically is actually stronger. But there's a scene where I love this. I can't remember his name, but the chief engineer is an Anari, who is a subculture from the Andorians, who are all white-based, who live in the subterranean caves of Andoria. But they're all
albino Andorians, right?
But they're blind, but they have telepathic powers that make them basically almost walk better than anybody else. And he gets infected, and he's trying to almost overload the what do you call it? The warp core, and she knocks him out, and she's carrying him to sickbay. And I think his Nurse Chapel's like, "How are you carrying him?" And it's like, "Oh, don't worry about it."
Yeah, yeah. But I love the Andorian. If you watched Star Trek Enterprise, we had an Andorian played by Jeffrey Combs, who to
Yes,
me
Shran, one
fucking
of my
top
favorite
level,
characters.
best
Yeah.
Andorian. But this guy's crazy insane. Like it's played by a real blind actor.
Oh, is he
So-
really?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
go check him out. He actually has a Patreon where like he
But-
does interviews and stuff.
I don't know. They pissed me off this week.
Oh, what with the fun episode? The
No,
the
you
Fable?
no. No. The new episode this week was them dealing with the Gorn.
Oh, I watched the Fable as the
Yeah, no.
last one.
I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna say it. They kill him. They're going Josh Whedon. They're not gonna. They're gonna have characters you like, and they're gonna. So basically, they find out another Constitution class ship has crash landed on this planet. They go to save them. They split the ship up because they have to go one place. So they split the crew up, take 2 shuttles down to the planet, find out that basically there's some creature down there, and the Gorn have attacked the planet and basically have almost killed everybody on there. And basically, it's basically aliens. So basically, the Gorn either bite or spray. When they spray you with this acid, that infects you. So basically, they basically devour you from inside and come out as little creatures. And basically, even the little creatures will tear your ass to pieces. So at one point, they're trying to kill the Gorn. One of the Gorn sprays the Inari, and he goes, I may be blind, but I can still tell what's going on in my body, and don't worry. So basically, at the last moment, he basically drops himself out of the warp of the hangar bay and just falls to his death.
Fuck, I love that character, man.
I know.
Fuck.
I know. Yeah, that is not what they look like in the second
Yeah.
series. Oh my god, that's a fuck. I mean, Enterprise gave you a slight look of the Gorn.
Yeah.
It's the two mirror universe part where basically you see a Gorn. It's a heavily CGI character in the Constitution class they have on there. But these creatures, oh my god, it's basically Whedon doing an alien film.
So Nurse Chapel is the only medical officer.
No, the Doctor isn't dead.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying he jumped out and died.
No, the Inari. He's
Inari.
basically in a warp core, and he's got Singh in there. They basically closed off the rest of the engineering and froze all of the Gorn that were in there and killed him.
Okay.
That was not before one of the Gorn sprayed the Inari, and so he goes, I hate to do this, but I have to do it. And so basically he falls out and falls to his death, so the Gorn can't reproduce.
Oh, okay. All right. I had it confused. I thought you were talking about the Doctor, and I was like,
No, the
shit,
Doctor's
he's
still alive.
Okay,
The Doctor's
good.
still alive. And what's funny is they actually had one cadet on there who becomes a lieutenant. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's the... and that's a
But
baby Gorn.
But it's not wearing an ascot.
It's not as fancy as some Gorn. They do have
Sun Gorn.
This is the lower class Gorn. These are the Marines of the Gorn.
Yeah.
They don't even have like body armor.
They have a cadet they promote to a lieutenant. And when they're on the ground, the lieutenant says sesame to Spock, and Spock responds to him as cadet. And he goes, well, that's another drink you owe him, Spock. Drink? Yeah. You remember he's a lieutenant now. You basically refer to him as a cadet. So you owe him a drink. And he goes, how many of these drink games are there? More than you know.
Let's talk about Spock for a second. Spock is played by Gregory Peck's grandson.
Yes.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, and they turn him into like sexy Spock. Like he's hooking up. He's got. I mean, like
they are really exploring Spock, trying to figure out his human side with his Vulcan side.
Mm.
And then they have like a Romulan who, like, everyone's going, I didn't know Romulans were so sexy. Like,
when did they have the Romulan?
When
But his fiance is Vulcan.
oh, you know what? I'm trying to remember. Remember when? Oh my God, Uhura! I think Uhura hooked up with that Romulan. That one guy, he had the like wild
Oh
hair.
my!
I have to go back and
Yeah.
look. I don't remember her hooking up with.
Yeah. Oh, there's the cast. Like really
It's
Mount. Like he's just so damn good as this captain. Like you can't compare him to the others. Like he's doing his own fucking thing and he doesn't care. And that's what's really cool. Like he kind of takes this casual attitude about dying.
I love his hair. I just like that spike he does, because when you saw him,
Yeah.
he's got the comb over and he's got like a Kirk kind of style. But this one, he's got the flare going on and everything.
Yeah, but like when he looks into like a reflection, he constantly is seeing his body in the box. Like so, you get to see that post destroyed body just sitting in a box with like all his face and hair like just burned. Oh man, you're right, Leonard. It is.
Reviews are in.
good.
It slaps.
It slaps.
And can I just say, Nurse Chapel? Holy shit!
I
you guys-
mean,
Jess
she,
Bush. She's British, and I actually saw there was apparently
I
they
thought
have,
she was Australian.
maybe Australian. You might be right, Australian. But they have a internet show. They have a YouTube show with why am I blanking on his name? Will Wheaton, where it's basically where he talks about the show. It's like an after kind of show, and he actually had her on there.
Oh.
Yeah, and and they interviewed her, and oh my god, she's just perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
she's not the same Nurse Chapel you saw in the original series. This is a
No,
different
she
Nurse
wears
Chapel.
more clothes.
Well-
Oh no, that was the movie.
Well, not even that. Like this one's experimental. Like, I mean, the thing is that So the thing about the Enterprise, it's almost sort of like a school kind of thing because like the cadets are on there doing
They're
like a doctor,
studying.
like the doctors do like their
scanning
residence.
planets.
Yeah, and she's on there on loan because she's like a specialist in genetic manipulation. So she like the first episode, they find out that they're like the number one and a couple of crew have been kidnapped by this planet that's on the verge of going through almost their third world war, and so she basically. It has the thing where she can give them a shot, and it basically manipulates their genetics to look more like the alien race.
Yeah, they
So-
do a really good job on that one by having the captain interfere.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
it make
God.
the directive become the prime directive.
Yeah,
Like this is the mission that creates like the prime directive or renaming it. Now this
my
episode that you're seeing right here, this was so damn good. And what's hilarious is when I go to Paramount and I see Star Trek and I just hit play because I'm like, I want to watch it from the beginning. They played this episode first because it was released this past week.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you have to go to the first. So I was like, well, this is a
There he is.
ballsy
Emmer.
episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But
It's-
they always had that. Then they always had that machine that took you to like.
yeah, they have a holodeck. Yeah, the
Oh,
holodeck. But this
I was
is
gonna
this
call it. I was gonna call it Abed's room.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I love the community reference.
Good.
Yeah, but so in this episode, it's really weird because they introduced the doctor. The doctor has a daughter who has an illness that
Leukemia.
is
She has leukemia.
yeah, that's very fast. And so they discuss the science of the teleporter and how when you're teleported, you're basically stuck in limbo. You got something, Kyle?
No. I'm gonna. This has all been referenced back to the old series, but go for it.
Yeah, and so the doctor has learned that he can put his daughter in like a stasis with the transporter and she won't get sicker, but she also doesn't exist. She's not there. So like he can live without her, but when he brings her on, she's slowly dying and he has to like he does things like he reads her a book and like he reads her nighttime stories and tries to make her comfortable. And that nighttime story is adapted by an alien race that they fly into, and it takes over the ship.
They're in a oh god, what's it?
Nebula.
Nebula, and so it's like this like god power like creature that basically wants to befriend her.
Yeah. And so it's like her imaginary friend who creates this world on the ship. So they do such a great job by taking the ship as is and just decorating around it. And so there are people who are affected by it and people who aren't affected by it. So while they're telling the story, the doctor is trying to save his daughter, but he has to go through the story with everyone. And the captain plays like his,
Oh yeah,
like, what would you call like next to a valet, I guess.
yeah,
But
valet or something like that.
it's so funny to see the Anson Mount like twists on the captain role to go to this like subservient role to the king, who's the doctor. And he's just fucking fantastic. That's probably my favorite role the captain does in these first 8 episodes.
Oh, hold on. There's also something I like that.
Oh.
And what I like, what I was gonna say is, hold on.
But like even like the Spock look, Spock plays like this wizard in that world.
Yeah.
Like there are all these different characters they tie to the book. And even watching that as the first episode, I was like, this is fucking bold because they're using old school Trek to kind of introduce people and show them who they're at odds with and different kind of emotional conflict through these characters that were in the book. But that's what I got out of it. But then when I rewatched it all, I saw the real conflict and why they exist.
Hold on. put in a picture in the chat for Daniel to post. What I loved about this is they even went back to the original series with one of the, so normally you have, and this is a callback to the original series, but Kirk would normally wear like the yellow shirt, but every once in a while he would wear like this green kind of V-neck shirt.
Yeah.
And they did one in the episodes where it's in the chat here if Daniel wants to post it.
It's when he's being a diplomat. I assume.
I love it. Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but it's basically what they're doing is like, and their star base is fucking phenomenal. It's like it's like they're almost like a snow globe kind of looking thing, but basically you find out that their base has like all these domes, and apparently it was right after, I want to say right before the Third World War, they shot chunks of the planet up into space so they'd be conserved, so the rest of it wouldn't be like, so like they'd have like a certain species that would be saved that wouldn't be destroyed during like the nuclear war.
I mean, the figures that they use are straight out of Tribble, are straight out of Silent Running, which is what happened in Silent Running. Is Earth was slowly dying, and so they launched all the gardens into space, and that's what the star bases look like. Is they have all these ships parking outside of these giant domes where the gardens and forests and everything are kept.
And when they're actually doing the diplomatic talks, they're all at this table, and again, it's like a snow globe. It's a huge dome with stars outside, but it's like you got 7 or 8 people sitting at this one, like almost kind of like table, that's kind of discussing, why you should join us instead of sign with the Klingons.
Yeah, and they have these like characters they introduce, and they're like, oh, well, their race is just direct. That way, they don't have any like emotions in the way. They're just telling you exactly how they feel, so that you know whether to go forward or not.
Yeah, and this is the episode where Spock decides. So Spock's fiance is worried that basically he loves Starfleet more than her, or cares more about Starfleet than her. So what he does is he tries to do like this kind of telepathic bonding, and they end up switching minds. So basically, they
do a body switch episode.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, they do classic stuff, but then they involve like rewatching this was so fun. Like just going through what is really Trek, and this made me like really Picard made me rethink it. And it is, if it's just a progressive show with science fiction, that's all it needs to be. And man, it's so fun. Every episode is different, and I'm a Picard guy, but I may come around to this captain. Like I love Archer too. Like this captain is so much fucking fun. I don't know if he's my favorite or not yet.
The one episode that really hit me was 2 episodes ago. It's when they're on this. So this one ship is being attacked by another, and they end up saving this one girl who Pike had saved again from a previous mission as a lieutenant. They also had a father and a son, and you realize that later the son has been genetically engineered to be like this perfect being, smart and everything. And it's this race that basically they're trying to hide what they do, but all of their cities are floating above above on the planet where they have like I guess like a really bad core. And you realize later that basically he's the chosen one who's going to save their race, but not by like doing some special thing. They hook him into a device that's basically going to put him into like a chamber and just drain his life force until they had to create another living kid to take over his place. Because when Pike even tries to stop him, but they realize you have no authority here because we're not a part of the Federation. And so it's just like,
it was the lottery. They were telling the lottery we didn't know it until the end. And we were like, oh shit. And this, because the captain was protecting the kid, because the kid was just like wanting to live a normal kid life. And then when he realized, oh, the kid wants to help and save and protect, then he takes him there and watches the kid die. It was just like, God. Oh, that's what he becomes. Oh shit. Then you're watching the kid just get hooked up to these like needles that all go into him. I mean, sometimes the sci-fi is fun and wild, like what the Doctor's doing. And then sometimes it's like, oh, all those needles going into the face.
Now, Josh, I know we've been pretty quiet because I think we haven't been watching the series, the new stuff.
Right.
But what was your intro to Trek?
Yeah, what's your Trek history?
So my earliest memory is growing up. My dad loved Star Trek, and so when they just aired, on TV, he'd have it on in the background. And even as a kid, I remember thinking, because I swear the first episode I remember seeing on TV was the Gorn episode. And just thinking, wow, that looks really stupid. And I was like 5, so what the hell did I know? But still, I was like, but but still, I had these fond memories of like sitting there and watching. Every now and then, I would sit down for a few minutes and watch Star Trek with my dad. So there's that. So I had that kind of like bond. Yeah, I just it's the ascot. Why is he wearing that? Why does why? Anyway,
Neck protection.
yeah, and
Kirk-
then
Kirk just has to hit on everything, huh?
yeah.
Yeah,
Please
don't
pull a
reuse
gif of that.
someone make,
Damn it.
make that a gift.
So there is that. When I got junior high and high school, most of my friends were all like Trek people.
Yeah.
So, and this was during the TNG era. So it was like this huge revival and stuff.
Oh yeah, it was massive. It was the newest Trek since the movie.
Yeah, and was, I think as fearful as fans were about, it's not the original cast and stuff, it was such a good resurgence of it,
Yeah.
So I would hear about it a lot from them. So again, I have like a lot of like weird like side associations. So like for instance, again, I never watched much TNG, just episodes here and there, but we played a lot of Starfleet Battles, which was a tabletop game that was basically unauthorized use of Star Trek stuff, but it was based out of Austin, I think, the game company. And we played that a lot. I love that game. That game was so much fun. So if you've ever played the official video game version, which is like Starfleet Battles, I think, it's basically a video game version of that tabletop.
Fleet Command just did a new one that they've got. That's on their advertising for like iPad and iPhone, everything right now.
Yeah. And I have not tried that one yet, but of stuff, there you go. But of stuff that I've actually seen, so Wrath of Khan.
Real quick, are these
Oh,
people floating off?
They're what?
Oh yeah,
No, I
It's
guess
like
it's
it.
part of the ship. I
Yeah,
thought it was
it could be either.
Shield
but
down.
but my first film was Wrath of Khan, which is still probably the one that I will go to if I want to watch kind of classic Trek. I'll go watch. And I remember as a kid having nightmares when they put the little thing in the ear. Like, still grosses me out.
Earworm.
Ironically, the one time me and a bunch of my high school friends went to go see a movie together, we went to go watch a midnight showing of, whichever TNG movie has Kirk in it.
Oh, Generation.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, it got to the moment with the big fight at the end where the thing that happens, and the film projector screwed up.
Oh,
no way.
And we're all sitting there like, what happened? And it was down for like a minute, and then when it came back on, he was like halfway through his like final like statement, and we're like, what just happened? Like, so that occurred. And again, I watched episodes of Deep Space Nine here and there. That's about as late as I got in that generation. I never watched that show or the one with Scott Bakula. So yeah, I've got really intermittent stuff. Now, with the classic show, the ones that I've watched, I basically went and said, what are the ones? So I've seen the Tribbles episode. I've seen City at the End of Time, where Spock and Kirk go back to like the 1930s. Written by stupid brain. God damn it! It's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, no, it's not him. It's angry Twilight Zone dude. Hang on.
While
Edge of Forever.
Josh figures that out, start thinking about this question. You too.
Harlan Ellison.
Oh, screaming author. Strange New Worlds. I mean,
all the way.
Strange New Worlds. Like I see more hope in that. I'm gonna try to power through Discovery now, but
Discovery gets a little more easy when you get to I hate to say it. Season 2 is pretty decent. But when they go to the future, and then, and they realize, and you also realize they tie in the Kelvin universe. Like there's a point where because Discovery focuses on, and this is where you learn about it, Spock has a sister, an adopted sister who's Michaels, who's the black commander on there. And she goes in the future, and you realize that basically she learns about, when she's in the future, she learns about Spock's history, and learns that basically he had done everything he was up until the normal universe, but then also got transferred to another universe, and actually have records of the Kelvin universe too. So it's like, so they actually acknowledge everything in both universes there. But the Federation, good.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I say the Federation has basically kind of imploded. They're not what they used to be, and because of something called the burning, a lot of the races have departed from the Federation, and the Vulcans and Romulans are together now, but they're no longer a part of the Federation. So in season 3, they try to go back to try to bring the Vulcans back to the Federation.
Yeah. It's interesting that this show is going to be about diplomacy and not as much. I mean, I say not as much action, but they seem to have more hijinks. I mean, they're doing classic Trek. They're doing like Caught in a Story, Nebula, and the body switch. I mean, they're 8 episodes in, and they've done a body switching episode.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of Picard though is member berries though, Leonard. I mean, how much is it just going, oh, I remember Picard, and I remember, because they're reuniting the whole Next Gen cast for the next season. Is it just a familiarity that you enjoy, or is it truly the stories? That's what I'm very curious about.
Picard for me is hard to get through. I don't know why. I know it's Star Trek, but it's almost the least feeling Star Trek of all the series out there. And I thought they went some interesting places with season 2, but it didn't. For me, it just didn't grab me like other Star Trek shows hard. Like again, Stranger Worlds is taking you back to Star Trek. The last time I felt Star Trek was like Stranger Worlds, and don't get me wrong, Enterprise is my favorite series. Was the original was back when I was younger watching episodes of TNG. I haven't felt this way of a Star Trek series since almost that.
Yeah, it's interesting too that they went through two Star Treks before they actually changed the intro to saying where no one has gone before they said no man has gone before.
Oh, interesting.
No, there's only one series. Original series was where no man has gone before, whereas TNG was where no one has gone before.
Oh, TNG changed it. Okay, I thought it was after that.
It was right after original series.
Okay, yeah. So again, progressive science fiction, even for itself, it has to be progressive. So, like, I'm very curious where these stories are going to go.
All right, I do want to interject real quick. Sorry, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask you, Daniel, what your experience with Star Trek is.
Great.
Should I not?
Yeah, you should.
Okay, good. Yeah. All right.
I put up a picture of Voyager. That's what was usually on reruns when I was growing up. I didn't watch much of it. Sometimes it was in the background. I mean, and then obviously 7 of 9 is part of that show, so I was gonna, pay some attention to it. But yeah, not really. I mean, I've watched more stuff. I've after the reboot of the movies, which I've watched all 3 of those. I did watch.
I can't believe you watched all of those.
The Rothacon, the original movie.
Everybody knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I know. Just those movies just are pale reflections of the original.
I'm still defending 3.
And I will say, so for this show, because I didn't want to prepare, I wanted to get in something, but there was no way I was gonna be able to watch a whole series or anything like that.
Yeah.
So of course I turned to comic books because comic books rule.
Nice.
But I wanted something fun too, so I actually read two different series or miniseries. Star Trek and Green Lantern: The Spectrum War.
Yes.
Yet we're still dealing with the Kelvin universe.
Yeah, it's a good funny.
That superhero element. He's like, just throw in some Green Lantern for me. Come on, I need something.
So I knew that these comics existed, but I didn't remember that it was with the movie version of the characters as opposed to, and kind of loosely. This is actually another universe.
But they bring in characters from the original,
the
original series. They had Trang, who was in Star Trek 6 Undiscovered Country, and they also brought a Gorn in, so which Gorn hadn't been brought into the Kelvin universe.
This movie, this comic had a sequel called Stranger
Oh
World.
yeah.
So I read both of them, and I wanted to I thought it was really interesting. So in the first comic, the Black Lanterns destroy the universe. So one of the Guardians,
Oh.
he conjures this called the Last Light Protocol, which pretty much takes one of each ring and any surviving lanterns to a different universe, and that's how they end up in the Star Trek one. I just thought it was really funny. I want to show you guys who got rings from the Star Trek crew.
Oh yeah.
So, from the Star Trek, I mean, from the Star Trek universe, really. So the yellow ring goes to Kronos.
Beer.
Then Chekhov gets the blue ring of hope. Uhura gets the what is it?
Sapphire ring.
Sapphire ring
Yeah.
for love. McCoy gets the indigo ring for what's
Peace?
it called?
Is it peace or is that blue?
No, indigo is like sympathy or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then we do get the red ring, and they also fly off into the distance to find some people. But
I forget. Good.
I mean, the series were both really fun. I like what they did. I like that they eventually bring in like some more lanterns.
Kilowatts.
Yeah.
What I love about it, the fact is, you realize that in the second season, they actually have the Manhunters there, and you find out that there are the Guardians in this universe, but they're so far in the future they have not made the Green Lantern, so that's when the Green Lanterns interview them, and then and they go on and see right there, and so basically the Starfleet has started to incorporate the rings technology into Starfleet, and at the end of at the end of the second series, you have Kirk basically taking a leave of absence with Hal to go find other Green Lanterns, and he goes, "Hey, if you got some time, there's a planet near here that's by a red sun," hinting Krypton.
Yeah, I love that. I love that in this universe, the one who gets the red ring in the sequel is Khan.
Yeah.
So Benedict Cumberbatch is Khan, not Montalban.
This is the one that fucking pissed me off. They have every other Green Lantern, but they killed Kyle off before they could ever introduce him to the damn series. I was like, you.
Oh, that sucks.
But the cool thing is who replaces Kyle in the first one, because the way to kill the Black Lanterns is with the White Lanterns, right? With the life. So they needed somebody who could deal with all the emotions. So if you guys had to take a guess, now Kyle, I know you've already read it, so you probably know. But out of the crew from the Star Trek crew, who do you think is the one that is most equipped to deal with emotions? All the emotions.
Spock.
Yeah. So he's the one that wields all the rings and brings the White Lantern. So it's really interesting. I thought, at least for the movie universe, I think everything fit into place. And it's just really fun to see the Green Lanterns kind of interact, and then for the sequel comic, how they adapt, because they can't go back, right?
No, they can't.
They can't go back, but also they don't have a battery to charge the rings, so eventually they'll run out of power.
Oh,
what do they do then? And that's kind of what sets up. That's the premise of the second book, really. Like all these rings that are still left, like they're running out of power. I think it's funny that a Star Sapphire ends up hooking up with Scotty.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really cool. And then they
poor Hal.
Unfortunately they didn't. And then of course at some point you had to, like, they've been hinting at this for the whole series, that Kirk would eventually wear a Green Lantern ring. So yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoyed the series.
One of my favorite things is you have you have when in the first series when they introduce Kirk to Hal goes, "It's Captain Jordan." He's like, "What do you mean? I'm a captain in the United States Air Force. It may not exist anymore, but we still hold the same rank." So it's just like, okay, that's kind of Hal and Kirk have some kind of like nice.
He's like, you can call me Captain, you can call me Captain Jordan, or just Jordan. But
I always felt like Chris Pine would make a great Hal.
Yes.
But he's already in the DC universe.
It's okay.
The multiverse.
That's true.
Just make sure his hair is the other way this time around.
just that's how you know he's different. It's the way he combs his hair.
But I mean, and then also watching the Orville. I watched like the first few seasons of the Orville, which is might as well be like alternate universe Star Trek.
Exactly.
I mean, like the first episode of this season of the Orville dealt with an AI suicide.
Yeah.
So
I'm torn on this season.
I haven't watched the latest one, but I remember you bringing that up.
I like what they're doing, but I miss. I don't. it's a bit more serious than it has been in the last 2 seasons, and I kind of miss.
Yeah,
it
they
a
do
little
need to
more.
lighten it up every now and again and
Yeah.
have some jokes. I think because they don't do those kind of shows that Strange New World does,
Yeah.
that they need to rely on comedy from the characters. Because, like, who's the assistant pilot? The redheaded guy, Grimes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he's a funny character that they could have him do more stuff. Like I kind of love that element of like some guys aren't so serious that they just like to have fun while they're on the job.
right.
Now,
Um,
since so I guess Clay sent me a video. I think
Yes.
you wanna.
I have two things that I love from Star Trek fandom are the clips that we're going to show. I got another one I'm going to send over to you. But if you want to pull up the first one, James Doohan talks about his meeting with a fan, and this is one of my favorite fandom stories of all time.
Let me know if you can hear.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I think I've heard about this before as well.
Basically, where he kept her from committing suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a fan letter from a young lady. It was a suicide note. So I called her. I said, "Hey, this is Jimmy Doohan, Scotty of Star Trek." I said, "I'm doing a convention in Indianapolis. I want to see you there." I saw her. Boy, I'm telling you, I couldn't believe what I saw. It was definitely suicide. Somebody had to help her somehow, and obviously she wasn't going to the right people, Anyhow, I said to her, I'm doing a convention 2 weeks from now in St. Louis. And 2 weeks from then in something, and then eventually she also came to New York. She was able to afford to go to these places and everything else. So, and then that went on for 2 or 3 years, maybe 18 times. And all I did was talk positive things to her. And then all of a sudden, nothing. I didn't hear anything. And I had no idea what was happening because I really never saved her address, right? 8 years later, I get a letter saying, "I do want to thank you so much for what you did for me, because I just got my master's degree in electronic engineering." That's, to me, the best thing I've ever done in my life. And it brings tears to my eyes every time I even talk about the story.
Yeah, see, that to me, that's Trek. Like, it's there for you regardless. And I love that story from James Doohan. And it's only rivaled by this next story for Whoopi Goldberg on The Next Generation.
I'm Martin. I'm breaking a promise to my wife now because I'm standing up. But I want to. You're always saying that your roles don't have a big impact, and I want to tell you they have. I'm mildly autistic, and I discovered Star Trek through your role and joined the Star Trek fan club. And at the fan club, I learned socially how to cope with the difficult things and so on. And well, now I'm standing here. I'm married. It's just a fantastic thing that can be impacted by one role, and you did that. And
Thank you so much. Oh, I love you. Thank you. So much. Great. I believe this. Wow. Wow. Wow.
That's the good of Trek.
Yeah.
Clay trying to make me cry in the morning.
I know, right?
Yeah, but we get on here and we talk about pop culture and stuff, and it's for everyone, it's different things, and so it's nice to see it healing for some people.
Yeah, and we do have, like Leonard Kim saying in the chat, the latest episode of The Orville also is quite poignant, deals with gender identity. So, like, yeah, all those things. Like, I know a lot of people think that, oh, you know, you're getting these politics into my media. Like, no, they've always been like that. You just haven't
Right.
been paying attention, or maybe they weren't your politics till now. So now you're paying attention.
What is it like?
Yeah.
They announced. I'm listening to like Shuttlepod. Talking to Dominic and them talking about Enterprise, and they're even talking about how like season 3 was basically them writing about 9/11.
Yeah.
That was their
Yeah,
whole
that-
response to 9/11.
Yeah, it's hard to recommend Enterprise because in the third season it does such a weird shift to this big war, and it becomes more episodic than just
That's what's
standalone.
amazing about it. It's a full story for a whole season. That's what I think is amazing about that.
Yeah. I enjoyed that one just the most with the cast, even though it has the weird Vulcan sunbathing, or the room where they have to wipe stuff to like clean themselves, and that's like a part of the show where they just rub each other down.
Because that's still the Enterprise was still the last series you had that was connecting our world. But I mean, like what I love is like one of my favorite episodes is still the catwalk when they go into a Class 6 ion storm, and they had to keep themselves in the actual like warp chamber, and they decide to show movie night. So they're like they still know what movies are. Like they and they talk about going to Chinese restaurants in San Francisco. Like I remember when there's the episode where their pilot goes home to like see his family for a while, and they're going to check out these volcanoes on this planet, and Tucker basically goes, I've got the captain to do movie night for 3 nights in a row. We're going to see Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and then Son of Frankenstein, the 3 greatest horror movies ever done. But I'm saying horror movies, it's just like
Nice.
yeah.
We have one more thing that's a little bit more to bring some levity back to the.
Yeah, I think after talking about
Sorry
Stranger
for bringing in the heavy
No,
stuff.
it's good.
You're
It's
fine.
good.
No, it's good. It's really good because you're right. That's what Star Trek
Okay.
is. You know.
Let's see what this is. I just saw the thumbnail.
I have no idea what this is either.
You keep getting me killed. I thought you had my back. Oh, not again. Hold on just a minute. Okay. No. We're both too old for this kind of thing.
Oh, that's funny because it's the other.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. It's the movie.
Star Trek, the video game.
Oh, now you're overacting.
Guys, it's almost out. April 23rd, 2013.
I have
Yeah,
never
and-
played a fun Star Trek video game. Have y'all?
Oh, really?
God, yeah.
Oh, dude. All right. Go to GOG.com and look up all the classic Star Trek games they have on there. Because there's some good ones. Again, like the Starfleet Battle ones are great.
Yeah.
There's one.
There's one for Voyager on PS2 that's basically Quake 2, where you're fighting the Borg on Voyager.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
All right, I'm checking them out.
And
I'm trying to
and
find
they
it
even
now.
have a
Hang on.
side scroller with DS9 for the Super Nintendo. Was actually a lot of fun too.
Oh, really? A side scroller?
Yeah, where it's your Cisco going through doing side scrolling on DS9.
I guess that would be the
Anyone-
one that would make sense.
Anyone played Star Trek Online? I haven't, but
No.
it's by the
I've done some of the iPad.
tried.
Ones, but
not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on. Like it just seemed like jumping in was really hard. So I
Yeah.
just eventually my computer aged out and it just wasn't worth it.
Oh man. Yeah.
And I know they have RPGs. Have you played any of their RPGs?
I have not. No. Yeah. I know it's weird.
with Star Trek, it seems like it's a lot of hard sci-fi when you go into the games or anything, and a lot less from the movies or TV.
Well, before we, I guess that kind of wraps up our Star Trek talk. Maybe we'll do some more in the future once Josh and I watch a little bit more.
Right.
I know. I mean, I was going to actually say this would be a time for us to vote on something that I thought was essential Trek. But if you guys haven't seen Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan,
I have.
No, I have.
Okay, so
I
feel like everyone should see that. That's
Oh yeah,
essential.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. So beyond that, what would you say, Kyle?
First Contact.
Yes.
I mean, if you're going the Next Generation films, I say First Contact.
First Contact is the most fun, and you'll learn why James Cromwell is the king of nerds.
Oh.
Interesting.
And I would say, if you're going back to maybe the original films, I'd say 4. Well, fuck that. Fuck 1.
God, I tried one, and I'm sorry, the 20-minute ship porn scene. I can't get past it. It's like trying to read Lord of the Rings, and I can't get past them spending 4 chapters walking through the Shire. Like I'm done. I'm out.
But this is the one thing where I go. This is where fans actually changed history because they brought Star Trek back, and I go. That's kind of the coolest thing. And now we have super fans who want to change everything, and now it's like horrible. So it's like there's this level. That's
a good point.
Yeah, there's a level of in between fandom that we need to find that's a good balance.
Oh, the Snyder cut.
Oh shit.
Oh,
no, 4. I would say watch 4. I think 4 really holds a strong point in my heart.
The whale movie?
Yeah.
In San Francisco?
Because it's them going back in time, and it's them dealing with out of time and just bring. Yeah, it's a good film, and plus it was Nimoy's directorial debut when it came to the films.
That's true.
I
That's
do.
The one Shelby's seen.
I do. I mean, I will make a plug for the Abrams Star Trek reboot. I think it's a solid movie. I know, but it's a good jumping on point. You just got rid of Clay. It's a good jumping on point. If you've never seen any Trek that still ties into original Trek, right? So it's like it kind of it splits the difference in a good way. So
I would recommend also, because it is a long episode, but I still love Insurrection also. It's what comes after the first kind of, but Insurrection is a lot of fun. It's them doing basically a movie version of an episode, but it's still just everything. It has everything you want in a Star Trek film in that one movie.
Nemesis has Tom Hardy.
Oh.
So let's go back to Insurrection. And
do you guys watch any of the animated stuff?
Yeah,
I have. Yeah.
Oh, yes. If you get the chance to watch the Filmation 19,
that's
animated. Watch that. That is
okay.
That's worth watching.
I mean, and
that's what I was going to point to.
I was referring also to the new current stuff, but
no.
I want to watch Lower Decks. I think that's something I could probably get Hazel into.
Yeah, the comedy part. Who's writing that? Do y'all know who's? Because it seems like it would be a perfect Seth.
I know Paul Scheer's in it, so that's why I want to check it out.
Paul Scheer.
Let's see. It was created by Mike McMahon. What else did he do? Oh, he's known for Rick and Morty, Solar Opposites.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Perfect hiring. I'll check that out now. Yeah, like I wasn't.
Oh, Axe Cop. He worked on Axe Cop.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Just getting Paramount. I wasn't sure to get back into Trek, but Strange New Worlds is that's the healing Trek you need, and it'll make you go back to all the others, except for that second one, that second Khan reboot, Beyond, or what is it, Darkness? Star Trek.
Yeah, I hate that movie.
That movie is a piece of shit.
The main problem with that movie is that you guys had seen the Wrath of Khan before. I hadn't.
That's a fair point. That's a good point. Yeah.
It's how the movie should have gone originally.
Yeah. J.J. Abrams is great. If you've never seen the original material, he does a great job of dubbing that and copying it. So it'll ease you right in and not enjoy the original stuff.
And we've come full circle. So
hey, that's what they did in the J.J. Abrams movies too. Okay, well, I mean, I really had a lot of fun with those Green Lantern comics, so I definitely recommend those. And they were setting up for a third one. I don't think it ever happened, unfortunately.
It hasn't,
because these are from like 2019 or something, so it's been a while. But I wish they would make them because I would definitely. I want to know what they set up something pretty cool. So, all right. Before we get into recommendations, I do want to show you guys something because in my ever lasting quest to get you guys to watch The Boys.
Probably 2015, dude. Jeez.
2015. Yeah, 2015. Oh my god.
I think I've decided I'm going to watch The Boys on the flight to Europe. I think that's appropriate for a communal watching, right?
Please
Just
don't wear
heroism.
headphones. Don't wear headphones. All right. So, I don't know we'll watch the whole thing. It's 3 minutes, but I just love Jensen Ackles doing weird things.
If you want to be happy, living a king's life, never make a pretty woman your wife. If you want to be happy, living a king's life, never make a pretty woman your wife. Now all you have to do is just what I say, and then you may be jolly, merry, and gay. Therefore, from a logical point of view, better marry a woman uglier than you.
From a logical point of view, always marry a woman uglier than you.
A pretty woman make her husband look small, and very often causes downfall. Soon as she marries, then and there she starts to do the things that will break your heart. And when you think that she is belonging to you, she's calling somebody else to do. Man, from a logical point of view, better marry a woman uglier than you.
Is this supposed to be in the 60s?
It just seems like, yeah.
I mean,
It's like in
the
like
way
in the
it's
80s.
framed, it's
Yeah,
fucking 80s.
This 70s or 80s. So this is actually a reference to. I don't remember the exact video, but this is just like kind of like how the Blondie video was.
Oh, right.
Oh,
This is also just a reference to something. I don't remember. I saw what it was, but I don't remember. But and they shoot this whole thing, but in the show you only see like 15 seconds of it playing on a TV or something.
wow.
It's
Weird.
So I think Eric Kripke and the team are just going like all out and building this world, this universe. We have one more episodes. We have one more episode till the finale next week. I guess no. The finale is next week. Yeah, Leonard
Season, right? Not series.
King, disgustingly delightful. Yeah, just the season.
Season. Okay.
Oh,
I mean, you know, it's kind of brilliant to film the whole thing because you can, like they're doing, release it as promo stuff on social media and get more people hyped up to go watch it. So,
yeah. So, highly recommend you guys check that out. I mean, it'll be done next week. So, but yeah, that was it. I always want to see, and the one thing I've been kind of talking while I do the reviews and on Twitter, like, I don't know how they expect me to dislike Soldier Boy when you cast Jensen Ackles as the character. I'm like, come on, that's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
So,
that makes you like him going in, and then his character should make you pivot on that.
Yeah, no, it's not working.
Is it just Jensen Ackles coming in going, I like pie, and he eats pie?
So he's got this old man energy, but like he's not old, right? Because he's a man out of time. So like there's a scene where he's walking down the street and then he sees like a couple of men, like, and then he just kind of like, he has this look like he just looks like, I guess that's a thing now. But it's not like he wasn't expecting it or anything. He's not surprised. He's just, I guess he's surprised that it's in public because, you know, probably when back in the day. And then, you know, so he knows, but it's really, I don't know. It's really, I think it's really well done how he's just adapting to all these things as somebody that hasn't been around for 30 or 40 years. So yeah, it's really, really, the show's really good. They've set up a really, really cool reveal at the end of the latest issue. If you want to hear me talk more about that, I did a whole review. I've been doing a review for each one of the episodes because they're so much fun, and they drop Thursday night, so I can watch them, shoot a video real quickly, and then put it up. All right, let's jump into recommendations, and so we can get out of here. Let's see. Let's start with Clay since he actually wrote something down.
Yes, if you will pull up the link for John Margulies.
Yeah, 1 second.
He is a photographer who is most known for documenting roadside attractions. You will have seen his work in the movie Vacation, because the postcards that they use this is the guy who did that, and Harold Ramis said he is infamous for documenting roadside attractions across America and doesn't think that anyone else has done it. There is a link to the Library of Congress that will be in the notes and recommendations that Daniel should be pulling up, that will have his photographs that you can go through.
Oh, cool.
I was clicking around. I didn't realize I hadn't shared the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you've got all these different roadside attractions that are what Clark and everyone goes through. And it's weird because it's almost like, I'm sure this is a snapshot of a time period long gone, that we won't see a lot of these as we drive by. They'll be replaced by like gas stations and Applebee's and shit. You
Starbucks.
know? Yeah, I mean, there's just like cool American stuff that's been through. I think he did it documented through the 70s, 80s, and 90s. He passed away in 2015, but the Library of Congress has like all his stuff, all his work, so you can thumb through it.
Not digitized, huh?
Cool.
Try the cowboy boot down here. Go to the right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, look at that. Who wouldn't want to get gas there? Come on.
I mean, when that place eventually gets destroyed, does somebody go, but I want to keep the hat? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I want to put the hat on my house or put the boot next to my house.
Maybe somebody lives in the boot.
Turn the boot into a swimming pool. I'd have it in my house.
That feels like a dangerous pool.
Yeah. You could get stuck into tow and drown.
Yeah.
The undertow.
God.
But yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed Vacation, these are the guy who did all the photos and stuff for that. This is his whole library, so you can go through a ton of cool shit in there.
That's a great find, man. I love it.
Cool. Who wants to go next?
I can go.
Go ahead.
Since you reminded me of mine, let me share my screen.
Your humble bundle.
My humble bundle. So if you listened to us last week, why can I not find this? God damn it.
Language.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
Now we worry about language.
Can you see that or not?
No. Did you click
no.
share? Hold on.
I thought I did. Hang on. Let's do StreamYard. There we go. How about now?
Yep.
I'm really bad at this. Okay. So if you listened last week, I was waxing on about how great Love and Rockets is. And lo and behold, I'm convinced the fine people at Fantagraphics listen to our show, because this week they released the complete Love and Rockets bundle on Humble Bundle for a paltry $25. You can get everything ever done to date of Love and Rockets.
Yeah.
Both Jaime Hernandez's work, which is my deep love, but also his brother Gilbert. So this is the first volume of no, wait, that's not right.
What's the first volume?
The first volume of Gilbert's is this one, Heartbreak Soup, and that's the first volume of Jaime's, Maggie the Mechanic. But like, so for instance, if you look on the shelf behind me, I have right there, I have the first 4 volumes of just Jaime stuff up through Penny Century. There was one after this I didn't even realize had come out, because I'm still trying to get caught up. Yeah. But just, I mean, it is a wealth of material. Really, really great stuff.
And for $25, that's a steal.
It's a steal. It's an absolute steal. I mean, I've got like 5 print books on my shelf I can get rid of now because I have the PDFs. Will I? No, but I could. So anyway, yeah, $25. It's amazing. So go get this. You will not be disappointed. The only warning I will give you is, and it's the one problem I'm trying to get people to read, particularly Jaime's run on Love and Rockets, is you've got to get through the first like 60 pages of the first volume before it becomes what everyone loves about his Maggie and Hopi stuff. Like his early story. Yeah, but it's like his early. It's more than that because they were shorter stories combined together in the early stuff. So what the volumes do is they pull out only Jaime stuff and only Gilbert stuff because they tend. It's nice to read them on their own, but when they were published originally, they were all tied together into like single issues. The problem with Jaime stuff early on is that it still includes the main cast of Maggie and Hopi, but it was like a sci-fi kind of story. So Maggie the mechanic she's like a mechanic in like a sci-fi shop, like working on floating cars, and they fight dinosaurs. And so it's fun, but it's not really what it becomes. So you got to read these like 60 pages to get to a point where you're like, oh, so as soon as you hit the Costigan story, that's when and I will never forget reading them for the first time. And I'm kind of like, this is all right, whatever. I hit that Costigan story and I could not put that book down. I was just like, bam, bam, bam. Like it is so good. And you age with the characters, like you age with them. So when you read, the most recent stuff, Maggie and Hopi are in their, late 40s, kind of going on early 50s. They're starting to age, and just like us, they're starting to age, and it's wonderful. Anyway,
we're aging.
I'll stop. Well, you're not, my friend. I am. Absolutely.
My body is.
So anyway, that's my pick, though. Go get the Humble Complete Love and Rockets bundle.
All right, Kyle, that's how you get up to get something. I imagine it was for that.
So it's kind of really hard to call the recommendation, but more of what I was able to find. I was going through storage, and Clay, and I know Josh will know about these, but maybe remember the old big Marvel comics?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Big.
Man, where'd you get
70s.
those?
I bought these back when I used to go up to New York to visit my grandparents, and when comic stores were still comic stores, back in especially New York. So the Astonishing Spider-Man, which she has a not Werewolf by Night, but it's it might be actually be Werewolf by Night. The X-Men, Iron Fist, and then Ghost Rider, and then the Defenders.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then
Holidays. Those are the best issues.
Yeah.
Why are they so large?
Because they're printed comic books. This is what they did back in the 70s. When they did the original Superman versus Spider-Man and the Hulk versus the Batman, they were done in this size also.
Oh.
And I could be wrong, but also wasn't that basically the size of the Marvel UK books too? Because they were mimicking
Smaller.
the format
They were
of
smaller.
UK stuff. Oh, were they smaller? Okay.
I had some of the Transformer ones because they weren't as long as the normal ones. They were like almost like half the size of a normal the US comic book, but about twice the size, about the size of a magazine compared to
that. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. See, I have a Howard the Duck one from back then, and it's just huge. I mean, yours look like in great shape. Mine has like.
I was amazed that there's just.
Yeah, like I know why they went to like the magazine format. That was to work around the Comics Code Authority, but like I don't know the history of the giant magazines.
Oh, okay.
I wish I did.
I mean, it's mostly reprint material, right? Like it's not original
Oh
material.
yeah. Well, yeah. No, yeah. I think it's all reprint stuff.
Because
Yeah.
Were they direct store or direct only, or were these newspaper stand comics?
Couldn't tell you. These were in bags when I bought them, and this is in the late 80s when I got them.
Yeah.
So they were already like back issue wise.
Yeah, so this might be where it was just they sold the magazines to comic stores directly.
Nice.
Ooh.
See, I picked this up for the comic show I curated. This is one of the original content stories when Marvel was trying to shift to like a premium magazine format. The pages are slick. Oh, there's a Moon Knight. Look at that.
Yeah.
So it's got like the night. This was the stuff. If you read interviews with like Gerber and the writers at the time, this was what all the Marvel writers wanted to write for, and the artists wanted to draw for, because they had the better print quality. Like the art showed up better.
Yeah.
So
I would hate to collect that.
Yeah, you got to get new boxes, and those are like bigger than magazines, so they don't even fit in a box. They just have to go on a shelf somewhere.
Cool.
This Moon Knight story is pretty cool. I'm gonna have to scan this in for you, Clay.
All right.
All right. Well, for me, there's only one thing I could recommend this week because, of course,
Star Trek.
No, Batman 125. Chip Zdarsky's taking over the Batman book. Look, I can't tell you how good it is, but it's very good. But I didn't tell you. Yeah, I fucking love the book. I've read it.
Who did the cover?
It's Jorge Jimenez.
Oh shit! That's
so cool. Wait. So who was the last team to take over a Batman book that was supposedly a good jumping on point that I read and then didn't care for it?
Was it Joshua Williamson and I think that was a placeholder because Joshua Williamson only did 6 issues, which is like a complete arc between he and this is definitely a good jumping on point.
Okay, all right. I do love that cover. That cover is amazing.
Well, I mean, don't worry, you have plenty to pick from.
I was going to say, how many variants are there?
All of them.
Which is your favorite?
All of them.
I think the Jacques pretty good, but this is a 1 in 50, so I'll never get it.
Oh God, that is beautiful though.
I hate the variant cover game.
Yeah, why? And do you guys remember back in the 90s in comic shops when you'd be able to buy posters?
Yeah.
Like, why are they not turning all these alt covers into just like, I just want a nice poster of that. I don't.
Marvel does it because my store rotates posters around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they both do it, but they only send them to the stores. I don't think they print them out.
That's stupid.
Nonsense. Also, my other rec. This is only for a very specific subset of people. Yesterday at Anime Expo, we saw a full trailer for Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War arc. I made a video reaction. I was 11 at night, and I saw this drop, and I was like, there's no way I'm not doing a video on this. I love Bleach. So it is your time now to either start rereading Bleach or rewatching Bleach.
No.
Bleach is so good, and it's about to get even better. I can't wait.
What are your selling points versus Kyle saying no?
I'm not gonna. It just there's too much there. I just have no interest in going back. I've been waiting for the new Dragon Ball Z Super movie to come out.
Oh yeah, the Hero. I'm excited for that too.
So yours is that there's better stuff out there.
No. It just there's too much for me to jump on board right now to even get into it. That's all.
Yeah. It's definitely a big ask. I would definitely recommend anyone.
When he said to rewatch and reread, I'm like, are you shitting me? There's so much crap there. I don't have the time for this.
I'm definitely not rewatching fillers because they're fillers. They don't matter.
Yeah. How many episodes are there of Bleach?
I think like 500. I don't know. I lost count. I get it confused with the chapters and the manga, so I don't know. It's a good question. I might make a video of how to watch Bleach.
How to watch Bleach.
Yeah, I was curious. Kyle didn't bring any Shonen Jump manga.
I thought about it, but I need to go back to it again and figure out which ones I wanted to talk about.
I think we caught up on Dragon Ball Super. I forgot. Finally. Really fun stuff.
I got one thing for Clay. Clay, you've been keeping up with the Orville, right?
Yeah.
So you watched the most recent episode where they go in the Crow world and...
No, not the most recent episode. I've just watched the first 2.
Damn it. Okay.
Damn it, Clay.
Yeah. I'm telling everyone, though, get on board the Orville. The Orville and Strange New Worlds are where sci-fi is right now for me.
Daniel, I meant to tell you, based on your recommendation last week, I watched the first episode of Soul Eater, which was very fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That went well? Yeah? You like it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Awesome. Yeah, I love Soul Eater. It's really good. And like I said, the art's really interesting. And I don't know. I don't know if you see in the first episode the reference that we were talking about Twin Peaks.
No, it's not there. That's
not there.
Yeah, that's what made me. I was like, oh, I want to see this like Twin Peaks thing. So, but it's not there yet.
Well, I think Black Bolt wants us to get out of here. So I think it's about
You mean
time.
Captain Pike?
Is that what he's on there? Is that who that is under there?
Yep.
I didn't know Pike was a cosplayer. I like that.
Cosplayer.
I did rewatch this movie this week. Oh, fuck, it's so good. Anyways, yeah, we got more stuff. So Josh is gonna be away for a little bit, but we will either have someone to fill in or just talk ourselves. I mean, I think we could do it.
Yeah.
So stay tuned to our socials to figure out our schedule for the next upcoming weeks. But we'll still have all the usual stuff: comic reviews, movie reviews, trailers, random videos that I decide to make on a whim. All the fun stuff. Oh, I
At
didn't.
11:30 at night.
That's right. I did want to share something really cool. Hold on one second. So I got a notification. Hold on, let me see if I can make this bigger.
That's what you said.
Oh, that's rude.
Sorry.
It's rude if she told you that in person. Throughout the show, I got a recommendation. I got a notification on the channel that somebody subscribed, and Thomas commented, "Whoa, are you the guy I see at Sanctuary on Wednesdays?" So I found the channel, subscribe.
Oh, nice.
So if you go to Sanctuary Comics and Games in Irving, they play our stuff on the TV.
Really?
No.
I haven't seen Thomas. They just put up our videos on there. Like they have a TV that.
Oh my God! I have to start dressing up. Jeez.
Yeah. So I thought I haven't.
Hey,
seen
everybody at
Thomas.
Sanctuary, I'm sorry for Daniel's opinion on Zack Snyder. It's not our, it's 3 against 1.
I know. I feel like I should have worn something a little more appropriate to be in a comic book store. At least
I'm gonna get a Dickie.
We're gonna class up the joint.
Class up the joint.
All right. I think that should do it. Anything else, guys? You guys all good?
Live long and prosper.
Scanning for more minutes.
just checking at the end of the episode.
That's what we'll do next week. Is we'll just watch Morbius, and that'll be the show, and we'll just talk through it. So it'll be a Mystery Science Theater riff.
Just on in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know that. Yeah, I've seen it that people have streamed it on Twitch or TikTok and stuff and they don't take it down. So really interesting how much Sony really cares about their Morbius movie.
Hey, it's getting played somewhere.
It's the biggest movie of the year, I think. I don't know. Go check out my video on the favorite stuff. Maybe it's on there.
That dancing scene with Matt Smith is like the worst thing you could do in a movie, and it's just so bad and poorly executed. It's Matt Smith. What were you thinking?
Well, it's
it's a paycheck.
I got the distinct impression that scene is very much trying to be American Psycho and cannot be American Psycho.
Yeah. It was trying really hard, but
really hard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you should have put on the clear jacket and done the twist. That's a little more American Psycho.
How do we make this Spider-Man villain cool without Spider-Man? That's what they were thinking. So,
you don't.
What is Morbius's essential story? There isn't one.
Well, one last thing, since the Leonard Kim mentioned that we're famous. I wouldn't go there, but somebody did point out this week. Another fun thing that happened. I'm in the back of the omnibus for curse words.
What?
What? You are? Look at you. Yeah, you are.
Like my picture this is from when they did the van tour. This is a signing they did at Pegasus.
Nice.
Red Pegasus, when it was back.
I love Red Pegasus. Yeah.
When it was back at the old location, back in 2017. And somebody I'm in the Discord for comics, and there's like, hey, I think you're on this book, and I was like, what? And then I borrowed it from Hoopla, and I was like, oh shit, I am on this book.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. So we did it, guys. We got me into a comic.
Woohoo!
Now I just need them to put me in the actual in the
book itself.
To think of it.
If you could be in one comic, what would it be?
I mean, I think it has to be Batman book. Any Batman book.
Any Batman book?
I mean, if it's Greg Capullo, I would take that for sure.
Oh yeah, that's the artist you want to draw you in the comic book world.
I think he would do a good job. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking of Batman artists now.
Jock,
yeah.
God, to have a sketch of yourself from Jock.
Oh,
that'd be amazing.
No, I would tell him just to do a Batman sketch. I don't care. I'd rather see Batman. I'd settle for Pepe Larraz putting me into an X-Men book as well.
Pepe Larraz, that'd be good. That would be worth it, but I don't know if it would be this iteration of X-Men or something else. I would say Aaron Cooter draw me into Avengers Forever.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm digging that book and just hanging out with Deathlock and Ghost Rider, but in the back seat.
Or if we get Russell Dodderman to dress us up for the Hellfire Gala.
Little suit and tie.
Yeah, something.
That's you know what that's what we need, and then we use those when we are on the air at Sanctuary. So
Yeah.
So,
use those outfits.
all right, cool. Well, let me hit outro before we keep talking.
Bye,
guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Live long and
Let's
prosper.
ride.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Twitter loves you.
Oh yeah. Clay.
Hell, Bebo.
Josh?
Simon Center, get the fuck out.